morning, everyone. How's everybody doing out there today? Let's switch over to our main thing. How are you all doing? I'm up. I'm tired. It's early for me. How is everyone doing out there? Let me get back to the screen to where I can see you all at. I was trying to load up my Twitter and Instagram here. Might as well pull up the chat so that way I can engage and talk with you all. Good morning, Lorraine, Oscar, Caden, Sylvia, and Tara, or Tara, either one. Good morning to you all. Hopefully you're doing well. I got my coffee here. I'm ready to rock out and do some art reviews, chit chat, answer some questions, maybe just engage with you all out there since you're all the friends I ever had. You're all the friends I ever need. So, hey, it's a win-win. Cheers to you out there. I'm going to have my coffee. Brought my water so that way I keep my voice all velvety smooth. Oscar, I see that you said you sent me one on Twitter, but I do not see any recent messages or DMs on Twitter. Did you recently send it, or did you send it like last week and I have to scroll backwards? I surprisingly get a good amount of Twitter DMs of people that send me art, which I actually really like. You can always feel free to share your art on Twitter and Instagram and tag me as well, so that way you can share it to a wider audience so people can see it. Oh wait, maybe it's this one. I have one from OJ Day Oscar. Would that happen to be you? I imagine it would be. Let's try accepting that one. That's probably... I don't know why Twitter's acting a fool. Hey, what's up, KR? How you doing there this morning, buddy? Hopefully you're doing well. All right, now that I accepted that, it'll probably post through. And there, I think it does. All right, let's grab that. Let's see. Ooh, you got a lot of awesome ones here. Let's take the bottom one. The bottom one seems like it's probably the more Bob Rossian one, so we'll take that. This one is from Oscar. There we go. KR, how you doing this morning, buddy? You got any fun plans for the weekend? Doing anything cool? Or maybe you are working on painting something. I worked on a small painting project last night, but it was more like an arts and crafts project. But I still had a blast with it. Actually, I probably want to do a little bit more of it this weekend. If it's cool, at least. Hey, what's up, Dustin? How you doing there this morning? How are you doing? So I can do channel reviews as many as people want, or we can allocate time for it. There, I got the message in from that. Got yours, Oscar. So if you're interested in me reviewing a piece of your artwork or giving some feedback, criticism, maybe some direction, influence, or maybe you're looking for some inspiration for something, the community is here to help. I'm here to help as best as I can, as long as I stay mentally active, that is. But thank God I got the coffee. And, let me know. It helps me if you type in the chat that you put my name at Wild Creates and let me know that you want to send me a piece of art. Easiest way at the moment is Twitter and Instagram for me, but if you can't do those, we'll figure out something else. You've been painting seascapes lately. May do other ones. I love doing seascapes. I really like sunsets. I don't know why. It probably is because I get influenced. I live in Southern California and I live only 15 minutes from the ocean in any general direction of the north or south side of it. And we get very, very beautiful sunsets. We actually, I would say, probably get our most beautiful sunsets a few months ago when it's the transition from cold to warm-ish in here. So you get a lot of different colors and low-hanging density of certain fogs and times where you can get color scattering. And then in the warmer months like we have now, you get these big, beautiful, vibrant colors that go on that create really cool bands in the sky with different cascading of light hitting clouds in certain ways. And then as it moves from warm to cold back in, you'll get a different effect within the sky. So that's probably my reason, because I get to see it so many different ways with so many different perspectives. But I also like doing water. Water's really fun. I think it's probably because it's most forgiving. If you make a mistake, you can just blend and move it in any different way that you'll want, which makes it fun. You feel like, oh, I messed up, whatever. Okay, I can cover it up, move this over here, push this over here, scrape this off. I also like working on seascapes on black canvas. Those are sometimes my favorite. You live, excuse me. You live near the Gulf? Coast facing the south. I believe you're West Coast. Yep. I wouldn't say they're nicer. I've been to the Gulf. I went and visited Florida many a time. That's where my grandma lived, in Sarasota. So I was on the Gulf side technically too. And they have great sunsets every now and then. The humidity is what gets you. I think what makes the sunset factor so much fun is you get a gambit of different colors that occur in a sunset, so it allows you to experiment and have fun. Whereas normally when you have the sky higher in the atmosphere, if you will, you generally get one cascading of color. Usually like an amber or a blue or, you know, a light orange to red, whatever your sky is, but it's just a gradient of that one color more or less. Okie dokie Finoki. Well, we can start with our review. I just like doing these. These are fun little ways to interact with everyone out there. Everyone is more than welcome to submit. I do members first. It's a little bit of the perk that I have, but if nobody's here or nobody has anything, we'll just go down the list. We only got one so far. I have a butt ton of others that people submit me throughout the week, which I love to see your art. But I feel like it only really pays off if I get a chance to talk to you here, so that way if you have questions, concerns, or I don't know, you're just lonely like me on an average Saturday morning, you can ask me a couple questions. But we have Oscar's. If Oscar's still here, we can do his. Oscar has one. I'm just going through his chat right now on his Twitter, so forgive me. He's got a beautiful mountainscape one. He's got one with a crab in it, which is awesome. I'm going to go with a ghost pirate ship, and then he's got this one that's like a distant rolling hills with a kind of like peaking mountain coming out of it. But let's see what we can get for Oscars. Let me pull it down here into my channel. I can pull it up here for all of you to see on Photoshop. That'd be easiest. Are you going to do anything with your weekend, Sylvia? I mean, if it's the afternoon there, you still got your Saturday night and Sunday to have some fun. Saturday night and I ain't got nobody. Where did I just put my file explorer? There we go. All right. Grabbing this photo here. Give me 1 second, y'all. New. There we go. But we'll just put that over there. Load that into Adobe. There we go. That'll be a little bit better. I'm doing great, Lorraine. I mean, I've only been up for an hour or so, a little bit more than an hour, so still got a lot of my day left to have a little bit of fun. I'm sure it's going to be warm here in California. It says it is 71 right now. It says it's only going to get up to 85, which isn't too bad. That actually sounds kind of nice. So if I finish my chores for today, do a little bit of work, I'll probably do a little bit of work after hanging out with you all. And then I get to have fun. So that'll be fun. And I launched a new video today. It's another tally. It's the last tally tutorial that I have. We filmed one more, but we did not get a chance to finish it. It was a very elaborate one that was kind of a combination of ideas that was submitted off a user poll that you guys gave to us. And we tried to incorporate that into a more, I don't know if I'd even, surreal sci-fi. It's a really cool idea. I mean, I'm not going to spoil too much of anything, but we tried painting a landscape within a diamond of, like, inner negative space, and then around the diamond has outer negative space, and then filling in some of those negative spaces but also keeping elements of the negative space by forming the diamond. Tally has this way of his mind. It works in different dimensions. It's really unique. And we got like 3/4 of the way through the painting because it took us technically 3 days to do it because we were working on other things as well. So we had to take the painting home to Arizona, and he's going to finish it up. So it may have a little bit of a different look or appeal or vibe halfway through the video, but it's kind of a cool little piece. Only problem is Tally's been so busy, I don't know when we'll finish it, but that would be the true last one. So after that, I will do some oil tutorials, some simple ones. I actually have 3 in mind that I really want to do for tutorials, one of them being a Wine Wednesday, which I'm waiting on something to come in from Amazon before I film that, which is why it hasn't been done yet. And then we will get into that one very shortly. And I'm looking forward to the Wilds Wine Wednesdays. The triple W's will be fun. You've been painting? What have you been working on, Sylvia? You got to feed the kids soon? Then painting for me too? Hey, I hear kids need to eat every now and then. Hey, what's up, Beat? How you doing there, man? You sent it via an email. I'll take a look right after this, or actually take a look right now. Good morning, Cindy. How you doing there? And Pablo, how are you doing? What's my opinion on Annette Kowalski? I've watched, I mean, all I can go off of is just hearsay of the documentary. And it seems, and other things I've seen, like The Happy Painter, there's also a good video on YouTube. I believe, Pablo, it's done by Vice. I could be wrong. Oh, no, one's done by the New York Times. I think that one is Where Are All the Bob Ross Paintings Now? And then there's one I thought could be done by Vice, but I might be wrong on that one. And so all I have is things that I've seen on news, videos, or documentaries. And it's a real shame what happened with the Bob Ross Company and the will and the passing of the name and the inheritance of the company and shares. And the real tragedy is the fact that it's a strong life lesson for anyone out there that everyone needs a will, which is something I should get on. I don't have any people. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. So everything would just go to my brother that I have in a note, but I need to get like a notarized will. And it sucks because I feel like the Kowalski family did take advantage of Bob Ross and his untimely death of his health and excluding probably his wishes. But the sad part is we don't really know what those wishes are, because if you watch the documentary, it shows that Steve didn't really want to have anything to do with his father. He probably didn't want to live in his shadow. And then it goes on, not spoiling anything for you guys, where there was a amount of time where he didn't want to be around his father or have anything to do with his father. And I don't know how long that time was, but that sticks with people, and that sticks with businesses that you don't know if it's going to be in the best light to include them. Now that everything's gone around and time has passed, it's a real shame that they don't include him in, because I actually think it would be best to do that for the brand and spread positive awareness, which is a shame they don't want to give that up. So I think that's a dick move to not have that, and I think it's kind of a little shallow that the person that helped build your brand, you don't want the legacy of their family to be in it, which is also going to help to build their brand. But I understand from a business perspective that you probably think that person's not good for you or your brand in general, just because so many bridges were burned. So my personal opinion would be she's probably a big piece of shit, but I understand it from a business perspective where they're protecting their brand and their empire that they built along with Bob. So it's like a 50-50 thing. It sucks. I understand. It's a shame. It's a shame. You're doing Forest Edge? Ooh, a forest sounds nice. White, I will give you the desert painting you did earlier, despite the heat, but I love the cacti. Yeah, it's fun. Tally sees more cactuses than I do. I mean, he lives in Arizona. I have a few cactuses. Mine don't grow up in those spire versions. Mine are like small cluster pods, if you will, with the big chunky leaves on them. All right, let me grab this email really quick. What's your opinion, Pablo? You asked me for mine. I'd like to hear yours. Let me pull up my Gmail right here. All right. Ooh, this one's cool, dude. This one's like a nice, like, sand, dirt trail. This is like total California vibes of where I grew up. There's a lot of dirt in California. People think it's all lush. It's not. Hey, what's up, TSA? Painting along Bob and Bill shows and watching some wild tips. You don't need any CRI certificate. I only want to get my CRI certification because I feel like it's a good, fun, personal goal. But surprisingly, when doing this channel, I've had a lot of CRI instructors watch me and reach out to me. And I guess there's something in when you become CRI certified, if you want to teach or do anything educational wise or anything with the brand, you have to get something like permission first. And those people were telling me the permission perspective is very strict and you have to keep the brand in like a good light. The only thing that sucks is nobody gets to tell me what to do. I get to tell myself, with influence from all you awesome people out there with criticism and feedback, of what I want to happen on my channel and education. I want to teach my own way. I want to give my honest opinion. If something sucks balls, I'm going to tell you that it sucks balls. If something I believe is good for you in certain aspects, I'm going to tell you it's good for you in certain aspects. But if I personally think Bob Ross paints aren't that great anymore, then I'm going to tell you that. And if they're like, no, you can't do that, it's like, fuck you. I get to tell you what I'm here to help you grow. I'm here to help you be more motivated, be more inspired, give you directions, give you a few pieces of laughter. So that part kind of worries me a tiny bit, but I don't know. They probably wouldn't come after a small fry like me, but who knows? You bought the Bob Ross paints and they were all running just to show you how much they care. The Alexander brand is awesome. I want to really try the Bill Alexander paints and brushes. Unfortunately, I don't have the money to buy them right now to test and review. So maybe when we grow this brand, this community a little bit more, and I make a little bit more funds off of it, I can save up to get those to do an official review on them. I'd love to do them. My Bob Ross paints always are oily too, which is why before I usually open them up, I will, a little hard to do on the newer kits, but I always need the tube a little bit. And that'll move the oil around in the tube there to get back and forth to mix up the viscosity. If you take it from just sitting around, separation factors happen really quick within those type of oil paints. And it'll generally, since the tube usually sits up, cap side over here, oil will rise to the highest point. So when you squeeze it out, you get that big blob of oil that's out there. That's not good. So try kneading the tube before you paint. It helps a little bit. It'll just swish it up like you're washing or swishing mouthwash in your mouth. You're just swishing it back and forth and mixing everything up. Cindy, you're about ready to give up on painting, but because of you, I will keep painting because one day I will get it and it will click and it'll get ahead of myself and I'm starting over from the beginning. So, Cindy, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Being an artist is being in a constant state of doubt and self-deprecation. I can't think of one artist out there, even professional artist, other than maybe De Gaulle at the very end of his life, who thought they were a great artist. Every single artist out there always, I would say 99% of the time, puts the cart before the horse. We try to run before, we try to leap before we can run. We try to run before we can walk. We try to walk before we can crawl. And having that mindset, because we have these great ambitions as an artist, you're a dreamer. And that's beautiful. Keep that dream alive. But when you have big dreams, you sometimes take a bigger bite than you should. And thus you make a lot of mistakes and it just brings you down and brings you down and brings you down. Which is why on my channel, my mindset has always been to teach you the basics and teach you simple things, teach you tricks and teach you hacks to make everything more simplified so you can understand it. I love all the awesome painters out there on YouTube. Too many to name, but some of my favorites would always be, Paint with Kevin, Andrew Tischler, Jason Bowen, and they have very, very good paintings, like excellent paintings, but they're very advanced paintings. Some people's paintings out there, like my friend John Grimm from one of my videos, he spends no shit 400 to 800 hours per painting. And that's a lot of dedication and time, but the details are immaculate. They're hyper-realism. But you can't compare yourself to those. Those are true masters of the craft that have dedicated hours. Start with simplistic things, which is why I like to show my tutorials here, very basic ones. You start with those, Cindy, you will start to slowly rise on the rungs of that ladder of artistic creativity. And when you start taking it slow and have those baby steps, you'll be amazed at where you came from. The problem people have is when they start really low and then they try to shoot for something big and they don't get any close and they just come down on themselves. And that's a big mindset I want you to get away from. It's a big mindset. It's just like if you're going to go to play piano. You don't just sit down on piano and you create like a Mozart symphony right from there. No, you got to learn a single key and then introduce more keys, then introduce hand movements and so forth. Start very, very slow. You'll find it more rewarding, which makes you hungry to do more. And that's what happened with me. Your opinion is Annette and Walt is the reason why Bill Alexander Bob became enemies. That I don't know. I mean, I could kind of see a little bit of resentment. I would say it puts in the realm of what is new to be what is known as imposter syndrome or imposter jealousy syndrome, if you will. Bill, in his own right, made something immaculate, made something beautiful, made something inspirational, and he did it. He did his craft well. However, I think the marketing, promotion, the branding of Bob Ross was uncanny and dwarfed him to where I think he was probably a little mad, and that probably created a little bit of animosity, and that helped create a divide, which sucks. Which is really weird because usually your job as a teacher, as a mentor, is in hopes that the people that you teach do better and greater things than you. Like, I really hope that everybody out there becomes a better painter than me and sells their art for a ton of money and changes people's lives with color and beautiful things that they want to put down on a canvas or whatever material they have. And I'm really hoping you guys become successful because I need you to support me so I can keep making videos because, you know, YouTube don't pay like it used to. I like the 1980 series for sure. I like experimenting with paints. I still love Winsor Newton for my dry firm paints for a lot of things. So it's good to have different ones and experiment around. I have not been to the Bob Ross experience at Muncie. Never been to Muncie, Indiana. I'd like to go. I think that'd be kind of fun. Hey, what's up, Yuma? I love to paint. I'm not food at it. I imagine not good at it. But I do it for you. It relaxes you. I like to watch your videos. It keeps me interested. And I like to try different paintings you do. Well, thank you, Yuma. I appreciate that. And I'm glad that it can help relax. I like to do painting because I find it to be a strong de-stressor. In fact, I actually started painting because of the fact that when I was working for another company, it was extremely stressful. I didn't like my job that much. I made good money, but I was working 10-hour days. Boss was really shady and mean. He wouldn't do anything to help out the company or people that worked within it. And it was just exhausting. And for some random reason, I decided to buy a Bob Ross kit because I remember watching him on PBS after Saturday morning cartoons. And I started painting. And I was like, holy shit, I made a sky. And then holy crap, I made a cloud. And oh my gosh, my mountain kind of looks like a mountain. And then I made water by pulling paint down. I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like a reflection. And I made all these small little elements. It was not a good painting. I've shown it in one of my videos if you guys ever get a chance. I think the video is called like, don't throw away your first painting. You can see my very first painting there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks interesting. And I just kept going from there. Oh yeah, I can agree. But I love Bill. I think he's a fantastic teacher, and I wouldn't say Bob's charisma won him over because I would actually say probably Bill had more charisma and energy on his. I actually think it's the approachability that Bob shows you. He makes you feel like you can do a creative craft, whereas Bill teaches you how to paint, but doesn't give you that. I don't know, that bridging from one to the next. He invites you in by shouting, "You too can paint! Just like the fires of heaven breathing down from the dragons of painting magnitude, you too can paint!" Like, he was very intense, and you're like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. Where Bob was like, oh yeah, all you need to do is just do this gingerly. You're like, all right, I can get that. Bill Alexander did not invent wet on wet. Wet on wet goes way back many centuries and centuries. Most painters back in the day that did any form of al plein air, alla prima painting, which is technically the Latin way of saying wet on wet, did it because you had to realize that there was no such things as photographs or real references other than still models at the time, or still fruit, if you will. And you had to paint a scene before light changed. So a lot of painters back in the day would paint it with a wet on wet style to finish painting with under like 5 hours. So that way the light wouldn't change too much within the painting, or this landscape wouldn't change too much. So it's been around for centuries. It is something Bill would say. All right, well, let's get to a artwork here. So I've got one. Oh crap, who sent me the other one? I forgot to write down the name. I got one from Oscar, and I got one. I don't want to say. Oh, TSA Beats. That's who it was. TSA Beats. TSA Beats. There we go. Oh, excuse me. You might have been watching Bill and both. Bill and Bob both. There we go. Words are everywhere right now. I like watching both too. I like watching them and myself. All right, let's get to one of the videos here. So TSA, I believe you're here. I don't know if Oscar's still here. We'll save Oscar if he comes back into the chat, or if anybody else out there has a piece of artwork, let me know. We'll get to the review section. Your real question is, will I ever be a CRI? I would love to get my CRI certification just as a personal goal, not for any kudos, if you will, or entitlement, I guess is a better word. I would like to do it just for the fact of reaching a goal. It's just like doing a marathon, I guess, for me. Just want to do it just to see. And I actually had plans to do it in like 2019, 2021, but then we had this little thing called COVID-19 happen, and that really put a damper on it. So I'll have to rethink about what I want to do and when I want to do it. I have taken CRI lessons from CRI painters. One was actually from Nick Hankins, which you can see on the YouTube channel on Bob Ross's. Then I took one from Faye. Don't know Faye's last name, but she used to be on the streaming channel for Bob Ross every now and then. And then I took one from a lovely lady named Rachel. I can't think of Rachel's last name. I want to say Goodman, but I think that's wrong. She was a CRI artist here in California who was on the Bob Ross channel a long time ago for that streamed some art. But then I only got to take a couple lessons for her before her husband got a new job in, I believe, Arizona. Then she moved, so I never got to take any more. So I've taken a couple of lessons just to learn some things and have some fun. But I'd love to take a full-on course. I'd actually really be interested, no joke, Pablo, in taking the landscape classes, but really also taking the flower ones. The flowers look like it'd be super fun. And I've tried flowers a number of times, and they are difficult, but super fun to paint. I don't know what it is. They're just, the softness of colors and the transparencies of how you can see through it is just so unique and like awe-inspiring, if you will. Like, it's no joke. Like when you put down like a nice magenta color, then you put white on top of that, the way you can see through some of the paints that are semi-transparent that pull colors forward and shift them aside and have all these different like peaks and valleys. It's weird. Just like it would have those normal striations in a normal flower that develop with pigment. It's really, really cool and really fun. So I would love to try that one. I like Brandon Thomas too. I would actually love to do a fun collaboration with Brandon Thomas. He probably doesn't know who I am, other than I'm just a handsome man that does painting. But I would love to do a paint along with Brandon Thomas. I think that'd be really, really fun. He seems calm. Seems like he would know a great recipe for barbecue. I bet you I could eat him on ribs or chicken wings, though. Don't let the small demeanor fool you. Hey, what's up, Tommy? How you doing there today? Wait, someone said they sent one. It was Lorraine. You sent one on Instagram. Okay, there we go. Well, Lorraine technically would get first dibs because she's a member. So let me pull it up here really quick. Oh my gosh, Tommy, you're here from a hot New Orleans. You sent your first painting attempt on IG. Oh my gosh, everybody's sending it on IG now. How is your hot day treating you, Tommy? Oh, Lorraine, did you send it through a YouTube message? Or sorry, not a YouTube message. Through a Facebook message? I can't get Facebook messages sent through Instagram. It doesn't work through the desktop mode. You'd actually have to send it through the app if that's what you did. I also got one from somebody named Tin Lizard. I'm not sure who that is. Hey, what's up? Oh my gosh. Narwhal? I want to say narwhal like the whale, but narwhal? How you doing there today? Have you heard of the Solo Urban Artist Paint? Yes, I have, only via because of the fact when you type in Soho Urban, I usually look for the easel so I can link it to people, but I also see that there's a paint. I have not tried the Soho Urban Art Paints yet. Ah, there we go. Okay, got it. Let's see if I can pull that up. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up a piece of artwork. Oh, this looks great. All right, there we go. Okay, so Lorraine. There we go. Okay, we'll start with Lorraine because she's a YouTube member. YouTube members get first dibs on this. Nia-wa! From the window to the wall. Such an idiot. My eye itches. Hey, what's up, Tommy? You're working and watching? Well, good, man. I'll do my best to entertain with my beautiful voice here, so that way it gets you through the day. I used to say that all the time when I was... Oh, no way, Tim Lazy's you. That was like perfect timing. I was like, who the hell sent me one? Didn't say anything. I get them all the time. Like, who sent me this? Who is this person? I would actually like to take one from Steve Ross in Dana Jesser's workshop. I forget where they're located at. One of the people that used to watch me all the time when I first started doing my YouTube channel and painting on Twitch is Bram. Bram has a YouTube channel too. I think it's called Painting with Bram, as in BRAM, as in Bravo Romeo Alpha Michael, I guess is the M. I forget what M stands for. And he's great. Bram has gotten very, very good at painting. And I believe he works now in tandem with Steve Ross, because I follow him on Instagram, and I see him post pictures with him and Steve all the time. And I think Dan every now and then. So I'm glad to see his success is taking off and him having fun with it. You just started painting using one of the digital paint? You're from Bahrain? That is awesome. Wait, what kind of digital painting are you doing? Like, what are you using? Like a Wacom? Like a digital tablet? All right, so let's pull up one of our artworks here. This one is from Lorraine. Oh, you're using an app? That's awesome. Have you always done digital paint, or would you also like to try traditional? All right, let's pull this in here. Let me duplicate this layer since I always seem to forget that. So what we do here, if you guys are new, is we look at user-submitted art of people that have been working on projects. Feel free to submit yours. Just let me know if you do submit one, so that way I can grab it and pull it into a file here for you. And we just have some fun. We do some critiquing, some feedback, try to give it some inspiration, some direction if we can. Maybe just a new pair of eyes helps you think about what you can approach for your next piece or how to improve this piece here. If there's something that you like in the art, hey, let the artist know. Right now we're looking at Lorraine's in chat, who did a very beautiful... How much longer for the stream? I don't know, I've only been on for 30 minutes. We'll see how long my voice handles there, Aaron. So we got a very beautiful piece here. I love these greens. These, like, sap and viridian and maybe some phthalo in here. Of a nice... I'm going to say this is like a swamp bog, perhaps. You got a beautiful distant scene here, fading out with a nice little center focal point going on in here, with our big trees encapsulating our focal point, with beautiful cranes. God, egrets? I think these birds are also called egrets, cranes or egrets. Having here, and I love the fact of like the broken reeds and the broken trunks that maybe didn't make it in life. If Lorraine, if you don't mind telling everybody in chat what number painting you think this is, and if you had to take a shot in the dark, how many hours you think you spent on this, so that way people get a little bit of a perspective. I like this. I like this a lot. Let me move that right there, so that way you got a good one. This is very sweet. I like it. I think it's very, very cool. Very, very cool. Ascetic notebook? I don't know what that is, but as long as you're having fun with it, I'm glad that you're having a great time making some creativeness. Bob would say nylon brushes cut through paint, and that is kind of true to a degree. So if you've never seen what a synthetic brush is, times have changed, by the way, so this is a really hard question to answer in a short amount of time, but I will do my best for you, Pablo. Old school synthetic brushes were made out of nylon material, and they still technically are to a certain degree. Nylon is made of a very, if you look under a microscope, most hairs are circular. Like if you magnify the hair in your head, are generally circular, a little oblong at times, but they're also porous a little bit with some smooth sections in there. And that's natural hair. Nylon is a man-made product, and when it's extruded or shaped, it doesn't really come out circular. It comes out more like a very flattened egg, if you will. So they have edges on the side, or a point on each end. So when you brush, it will push paint along, but sometimes depending on your force of the brush bristles can cut or leave brush marks. And that'll happen very easily with an oil paint, which is very easily movable. Not so much in acrylic paint, which will put a coat down and then leave brush marks behind, where if you use oil, the nylon brush can go through to the canvas and then leave a brush mark. So you can see your canvas side underneath. That was in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. As times have gone and technology has evolved and changed and we've gotten better at it, most brushes these days aren't actually natural bristle brushes as much due to like PETA, the transition for more sustainability within nature. A lot of brushes are synthetic blends. And the way synthetics are made now are way more closer, you know what I mean, are a lot closer to what natural hair would be in a brush. So it doesn't really happen as much. I actually have a lot of synthetic brushes that work great for oil. But like paint brushes that you would normally find at like a hardware store don't always work the best because they don't really move paint along. They kind of like aggressively cut and push, if that makes any sense. The best way to find out your answer is get a very old school nylon brush, paint with it, and you'll see how it just kind of leaves hard definition brush strokes. This is a traditional oil narwhal. Hopefully that answered your question. You're going to join right now. I have painting on your Instagram. Hope you can squeeze in it. I will, if you could resend it to me, Aaron, so it pops to the top. That way I can grab it. I'll be more than happy. Let's take a look at this art. I'll answer that question at the end of this art review for you, Pablo. So remind me. Aaron, oh, thank you for becoming a YouTube channel member. Look at that beautiful little jumping dinosaur. It matches the painting. I'll answer that question at the end. Remind or ask it again at the end so that way we can get it. But let me get on to the review here because I feel like I'm not doing my job of answering or giving the feedback for Lorraine here. So first of all, Lorraine, I love the perspective that you have. Let's get my brushes here. I was making a YouTube thumbnail earlier. We'll do red for bad and somewhat of a green for good. I don't think green will show up, so here we'll do blue. Thank you, Aaron, so much for becoming a member, dude. I appreciate it. Thanks for help supporting my channel. You're awesome, bro. So when it comes to creating a swamp bog, you did a very fantastic job here. I think you even did a very good job of keeping a perspective in here because our eye is trained to go in this general direction. We're intrigued to look at the brightest point. It's a survival mechanism in your brain. And creating contrast, which means having light next to dark, is how you're going to create the darkest darks and the brightest brights, okay? So our brightest bright, other than the birds, which obviously are a focal point in themselves, are self-sustained elements, is this bright spot back here. And so you did a fantastic job of taking your darks and fading them into this bright spot all the way around. So Lorraine, you did a fantastic job. And now that you see me highlight it, hold on, we'll create a little mouth there. There we go. There's a person. You can see how that works to a great effect. But I would say you could enhance this even more. And to do that, you should really have more of a darker point up here in your corner and a darker point up here in your corner and a little bit of a darker point up in these corners. I don't know what I did with this arrow here, but you get what my point. And a darker one here. And the way we can illustrate this or paint this in to be better is when you're first doing your trees up here in the top right and the top left corner, is you did actually a very good job here. See how much darker this section is compared to this section that is over here? That's what would happen in nature. Our light source is here, so it would fade off in this on these two general directions, okay? So you should have this be a lot darker over here, and you need this to be a lot darker over here. That would really push in the element a lot more, okay? And that would really, really enhance that focal point in the middle, and it would create a lot more depth within the painting. And then when you work on the lower side here, on these bottoms, what you could really do is include the shadow point from your trees. So since your light again is back here, it's pushing your light, let's just say more or less in this general direction, okay? So what would happen is these trees would cascade a shadow down onto this water. It would pull the shadow down into this water. So next time if you were to paint something like this, Lorraine, you could take a little bit of your brown and black and just dab it under here, and then just pull straight down with your paintbrush, darkening these corners even more. And then if you didn't want to do that, maybe you want to show more of the water, take a little more of your dark Viridian green or sap green or phthalo, and just introduce a little bit of like a darker complementary color like a blue. And I would just paint that down into here and slowly blend it in so it would have a darker point, and then that way it would fade up into that center of the painting that is over there. And that would enhance what you have. And I think that would be very, very good. Now it looks like you struggled a little bit, Lorraine, with creating the depth textures in the background here. And it looks like you used just oil to create your sticks, which is fine. That is very, very good and very, very fine. I would say if you wanted to try for the next time you paint something like this, you know what you could do is you could put, I'm going to increase my brush here. You could make this whole section white gesso, okay? Then you could take your gesso, add just a small dab of black, the smallest, and you're going to get gray gesso that goes around here, okay? Then you can take full black gesso and black gesso this, okay? Now what that's going to achieve is when we have colors that fade out from here, you're already going to have a grounding of color that's going to naturally make this element go darker out because you got a different grounding to it, okay? Then you can take white gesso with just a dab of gray in it, and you could put streaks up, just like that. And then you could take gray gesso and put streaks up, like branch streaks. Then you can take black gesso and put streaks up. And what that's going to do is when you put your liquid white or liquid clear, and then you add all these other elements of color on top of it to create this environment, you have these distant background twigs that are a little more defined and not defined because of the white and gray gesso back here. You have elements of your sticks here that look like you ran out of paint or didn't fade it in correctly. So you may want to try doing that, and then as you work closer to us, then you can transition over to your Van Dyke brown or black with oil and introduce those streaks that you have coming up, and those will create planes of separation that'll help the eye develop more depth within the painting. Just something to think about next time you do it. But I love the fading that you have. The only criticisms I think I would have is it looks like when you try to make your midground element here, Lorraine, it looks like you did this all in one go, okay? Like you were tapping in color and just slid it out and across and the same side here. I would say work on these planes individually. So this plane here appears to be in this one here because it looks like your landscape fades around a corner, which is awesome. So I would lay this land in here, okay? Then highlight or not highlight to what you want. Then do another, then do another, then do another, then do another. And I would work on each one of those planes individually and try my best to leave a little bit of gapping between them to help create the illusion of separation. And like there's different hills or water had eroded into different coves at different time. And that would just be something I better. I make this problem all the time, especially when I paint for tutorials, is you feel limited on time. So you take your brush and you literally just go tap, 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 tap. And it looks like one blob. And then you're like, crap, now I got to create separation. And that happens to a lot of artists. What you want to do is have a little more control and go tap, tap, tap. Okay, lift my brush up and back. Oh, okay, another plane here. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. Ooh, another plane here. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, another plane here. Tap, 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 tap. Now I have these planes that my eye can see the separation because these gaps. Now I can take my brush and slowly start fading this down and in. Start fading this down and in. Start fading this down and in. And now I've still created this nice chunk of land, but there's different densities to it that help it feel like it has rolls or depth or distance in it. And that's just something you take a look at. I'm here to help you learn, Aaron. And then you did a really good job here. Let me do a smaller brush. You did a really great job here, Lorraine, but then as you work to the side of your canvas, you lost all of your texture. You lost all this consistency of this flow. Like you have these lines that develop up in here to some degree, but then right when it gets to this element of the tree, you stopped it right here. Actually, your lines start to go vertically. So remember, when you're painting in your elements, you kind of have to have, it's like chess a little bit. And this is the toughest part. I struggle with this all the time, mostly because I should probably use a reference photo, and I don't. But when you're creating your element, sometimes you have to think about how this element goes all the way through the land and beyond. You have to think how it goes through the land and beyond. So even though you're going to put a tree here, these elements still have to match what's going on this side because it's developed with the land. You have a little bit of inconsistency. And even like right here too. You can see like, it looks like you painted this, and they're like, oh, I'm going to put a tree. And they're like, oh crap, I forgot to include it over here. And another tree, and then, oh crap, I forgot to put it over here. This would have worked better if you could have taken this land all the way across, just like that, and then paint the tree. So that way there's consistency going through it, okay? I think you could probably have a little bit more water reflection down in here. Pull that paint down, swish it across, then go back and add these little dots, which I love the dots actually. And then for your wooden stakes that are coming up, beautiful, beautiful idea. Normally when you have wooden stakes, since it's a abrupt feature within your water, generally there would be more of a watermark near it. So I would go back and I would add more watermarks, especially as they get closer to us, so they stand out with more detail. And in my opinion, water bogs are very lush and very overgrown. So I think your painting would be more enhanced if you put on the left side and the right side of the light sources over here that you included more highlight or more moss or more bark, because these trees are in full nature. Bugs, water dampness, humidity, temperature are all eating away at that tree intensely. So you could put a lot more thick texture of overgrown, and I think that would really, really enhance the appeal and look. Not that you did anything wrong. I love the highlights that you put, and I love the shadows because it looks like it has these really deep gnarls and characteristics, but I think you could even over-exacerbate and exaggerate that appeal on the tree, because that's what would happen. Moss, bark, I was going to say like decaying would happen on these trees, because these trees are in a really not harsh environment, but more of a natural environment where bugs and birds and, you know, gators are all going through here and eating away at these trees here. So adding a little more texture, I think, would help create that foreground element, which would then be more detailed, which would then push the background element to be more further back because it'd be less detailed. And I think right there you'd have a beautiful painting. I give you kudos, by the way, Lorraine, for doing birds. I couldn't do these birds. These look great. Fan-frickin-tastic. I love how you got the sharp beak. I love the eye. I love the fadiness come down to the tail off the wing. And I love the legs. I've never done a bird. No, at least not like this. I've done birds in the skies with like the flat V's. But this is great. The biggest things I would say is create that vignette look, have more of the distant appeal, create your planes to go all the way through your elements, or not even all the way through, but consistency. Consistency, I think, would be key. And then having more detailed foreground elements will really help capture and elevate the painting. But I say good job. Golf clap. Awesome. That was beautiful, Laura. You are making strides. Awesome strides. That was fantastic. Oh my good gosh. Hey, what's up, Prime Time? How you doing there, buddy? Yeah, those were fantastic birds. I don't think I could ever paint birds like that. The problem I have when I paint elements that I've always wanted to try to include, like, yes, birds, but you know what I also tried to do, which is a great idea, probably for KR. KR, if you want to sell paintings, well, and you have the talent for this, is no joke. No joke. You want the trick to selling an awesome landscape painting is include something unique. And you know what's very unique that sells, that's our generation and the generation below. Well, my generation, I'm in my 30s. Put in KR, listen, bro, I'm gonna make you millions. Add Pokemon into your landscape. You put like a Squirtle in that little swamp bog right there. Awesome. You get a field of yellow posies, put Pikachu. You got like a beach scene, have Charizard laying on the sand, dude. They will sell like hotcakes because it's got something that is calm and collective and you can put in your home, but something new age in there as well. How's your day treating you, Prime Time? How's the work going for you, buddy? Lorraine. Bob Ross was the man and still is. Whoa, let's give a little credit to me. I mean, come on. I mean, I am handsome after all. At least that's what my mom says. Can you clean Bob Ross brushes with soap and water? Thank you for the reminder. You can, but it's not best, okay? Bob Ross brushes now are a half blend of half synthetic, half natural. And synthetic can do fine in soap and water. It's the natural side you got to worry about. So think about it this way, Pablo. Natural bristle brushes out there are exactly like the hair on your head, okay? Hair is made from keratin. And so, I think keratin's a protein-based enzyme. So, that needs to be nourished. So when you wash your head and you use soap and water, shampoo, for example, you're actually stripping the nourishment out of the hair. You're making your hair more brittle. Yes, you're making it clean, but you're making the protein element more brittle, which means it can snap or fall out, which is what happens on your hair. And so to counteract that, you have to use something like a conditioner, just like you would on your head, which nourishes the hair. So when you clean your brushes with soap and water, you need to also nourish the brush. Now, most people say you don't need to clean it at all. You could just leave it wet or damp to some degree, like within water or a clove oil if you're doing oil brushes, and just leave it wet and just wipe it off when you use it next time, which is what some people do, and you can do that as well. But if you plan on not painting for a while, sometimes I won't paint for weeks at a time because I have things I have to do. I recommend cleaning your brush, which I have a video on, but I also recommend conditioning your brush afterwards. So if it's going to sit around for a while, it's got conditioner on it that's nourishing it. So that way when you use it next time, it's going to still be clean and soft or whatever condition you want it in. So you're not going to have bristles that break off of it. Okay. So what I always promote on my channel is the Master Brush Cleaner and Preserver. No joke, that stuff is, in my opinion, the best one that I found so far. There are mixtures out there for oil brushes I would probably recommend, like a mixture of clove oil and I think it's like Venetian oil that you dip your brush in and it'll leave your, no joke, it'll leave the bristles on your brush wet for like months at a time. So that way like it can't dry. And those are fantastic. Well, a little more expensive to make, but it's cool. I should actually make it and market it myself. Wild's super wetness, we'll call it. Doing well and chilling in the truck and eating lunch. Oh, nice. Mine is going well. It's still morning over here. It's about 10. I'm having my coffee in my Smalls mug that I had from a while back. What are you having for lunch, Primal? I choose you, Pikachu. It's pretty hot. Like, what temperature is where you're at right now, Primal? Right now, it's still in the low 70s here in California. Can you paint on a painting after it's varnished? You know, to be honest, I don't know the answer to that. My gut feeling is yes, you can paint on it. However, do I think it will be archival? No. And by archival, I mean, how long will that paint last on that varnished surface? I don't know the answer to that, but I imagine at some point you would probably have weaker paint adhesions, which means it would be more susceptible to cracking or flaking or tarnishing or yellowing. So if you're going to do something for practice, Lorraine, yeah, I would say go for it. Don't worry about the painting surface. But if you're looking for something that would probably last in your home or archival needs, then I would say probably don't do it. Michelle Bradford, also, thank you for becoming a YouTube channel member. I think I saw that the other day that you joined, so thank you. I appreciate the love that you give. I have sold 9 paintings this past week. My gallery, I can't even say the word. I got distracted by naked. I was having visions of gumdrops in my mind. My gallery looks so naked. I think my next one is going to have a Digimon on it. So Lorraine, I'm imagining you're probably around my age, maybe a little younger if you like Digimon. And I was just thinking about Digimon the other day, no joke, because I used to grow up, I don't grow up anymore. I grew up and I used to watch some Digimon episodes and I felt like it was a blatant ripoff of Pokemon, but I still liked it, but I don't think it was as good. But I do remember like the song, because it'd be like, Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon. It's like that took all of somebody 30 seconds and one hit of weed to be like, oh man, I gotta think. I'm on the way to the executive's office. I gotta think of a song. Okay, I gotta write about Digimon and Digimon World, and they transform. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon, but genius, sold. It's like it took him 15 seconds to think of that song. It's like, some people did. 92 in New Orleans? Oh man. That's warm. That's a pool day. That's a pool day. Michelle, what kind of artwork were you selling? Also, may I just say kudos to you for selling 9 pieces of art. And that's awesome that your gallery's looking naked. Hey, what's up, Carrie? How are you doing there today? Sorry it took me a while to get to your channel. I love your channel. So appreciate all the inspiration and guidance. Can you tell us if you do anything to protect your finished paintings, like put on a spray coating? I will always at least, I think, or no, I don't have one here. I will always at least put a spray varnish coating. There's a video of me, Carrie. I believe the video is like how to make your paintings pop. It's got a very big picture of my face going, you know, making the big O face. And that shows you how to use spray varnish correctly, okay? I like spray varnish. It adds a little protection. And since I usually put texture on my paintings, putting on painted varnish can be tough because there might be peaks and valleys and holes in some of the more impasto paint that I put on. So I like to use spray because spray I can attack it from like different angles and get it really in there. So I'd recommend taking a look at that that video. But yes, at the very least, I will always put some type of coating on top. When I work within acrylics, it'll generally be an acrylic spray gloss varnish or an epoxy. If it's oils, it'll usually be somewhere between a semi-gloss to a high-gloss spray varnish, or I will put on a brush varnish, depending on the type of painting it is. But yes, I will always do it. And I do it for multiple reasons, which I explained in the video, which I'll give it away now. One, I actually appreciate when people touch my art. I'm not hoity-toity. I like people to be close. I like them to touch. I like them to get the vibes, the feel, the energy. They get an appreciation for the art. And when you touch art, you have acid on your fingers and you have bacteria, microscopic, but you don't want that to get on the art, oils, or acrylics themselves. So adding a varnish coat actually gives an extra protective layer. If you did need to clean off, you can do a very light rub on it with whatever cleaning solution you want. Generally, I use a baby wipe if I need to. Reason number 2, perhaps the most important one, is most paintings are going to be hung somewhere and they're going to be illuminated by natural light, Carrie. Natural light, even though it's coming through a window, can still have UVA and UVB rays, and UVA and UVB have a negative effect on paints to where they make them yellow over time. So the more your painting is hanging near a window, the more it will yellow over time. Adding a spray varnish or any varnish coating eats down on UVA and UVB rays, minimizing for a great amount how much yellowing can occur. And I forget my third reason. I'm sure it's another great one, but it's in the video. Third one is we'll make you watch. There, that's a tease. I sing like Elvis. Has anybody seen the new Elvis movie? That looks fantastic. I want to see it, but I'll probably wait for it to come out on streaming. Michelle, you had to start slow, but got really amazing. But my room, all comic books, so gonna make some Marvel and DC also. Oh, I'm falling in love with you. I don't have many comics anymore, but you know what I still have? This is so nerdy, but you're probably gonna love it. I still, to this day, have all my Marvel cards. All my Marvel cards. I think I've got from like my Flares up to my Ultras, and from like the 92 series to maybe like 96, 97. One of the first things I did, Michelle, when I got like my first well-paying job, I took one of my paychecks and I went on eBay and I bought the collections that I did not finish when I was a kid. So I bought like the Flair 1992 series of Marvel cards, and I think like the 94. I still need to get some holograms and some like reflective cards, but that was like one of the first things I do. And I still have my booklets. I still have my booklets to this day. And the artwork on those are amazing. Like, I wish I could do that style of art because they're just beautiful. They're just beautiful. The one you're making today is the nebula again. I actually have this idea I want to do with one of the nebula paintings that I have that I haven't gotten around to that I think is going to be awesome. But essentially, I'm going to do the outline of either a hand holding like a moon or a galaxy within that, and then nebula on the outside of the hand to form it. And I want to find like a figure of a woman, because women have more curves, outline that in a nebula-esque, and kind of have that blended out. Don't steal my idea, but I like sharing with you guys. Cindy, I see the money tab. When I click on it, I can't see where to add money. Are you talking about sending money? I don't think you add. I think it's like you click on it, you tell it what denominational value you want to have, and then it will send. I don't think it adds to where you send. It's just a one-time transaction. Hey, what's up, BitBuy? How you doing there, man? How can you review my art? We're doing it through Instagram and Twitter. You send it to my user account if any of you guys get the chance. Hey, feel free to follow me on my Instagram and Twitter. But YouTube members first are what we're doing. Gary, thank you so much for your knowledge. Thrilled to chat with you. I'm thrilled to chat with you too. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. You are a treasure for the Wet on Wet community. Oh, thank you. Yes, inflate my ego even more. I like Carrie. Carrie's my new favorite. Michelle, you're out. Carrie, you're in. No, I'm just kidding. You're 35 and a proud geek? Hell yeah. I'm a proud geek too. I do everything. You can't see it. Well, actually, you can see a little bit back there. I love my video games. I got my video game classics. You cannot see this side, but I got my PS5, my new generation Xbox. I have a ton of Mega Man memorabilia. I've got my Futurama posters over here. Got a Mega Man poster back there. I got a ton of shit. Love going on Twitch. Love playing games. I'm an Apex master. Alrighty, let's get to the next one here. Doesn't show. It should be. There should be like a near chat. Near chat should be a $sign, or I don't know what currency you have in your country, but in our country, it's like a dollar bill with a $sign in it, and you click on that, and then it should pop up for you. I just know it's below the chat somewhere. I see different perspectives since I'm the broadcaster. Well, we did one of yours, Lorraine, so let's move on to somebody else's, but if I have time, I can come back to the other one or the second one. All right, so is TSA Beats still here? And then I believe somebody else sent me one. Oh, it was Tin Lizard. Let's grab yours and pull that down too. I heard a sound. What was the sound? Okay, Art, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for helping me improve. Dude, you're beyond a better artist than me now, dude. You are now the master, KR, and I love it. I love seeing your art, actually. Your cat knocked a practice piece face down and was lying on the back of it. I'm going to start putting them on the wall to try. Cats will always knock over everything. Bit needs my email. Bit, if you go to the About section of what you're watching right now of my YouTube channel, Wild Creates, under there is my email address. You can just click on that and copy and paste it. Or I think you can even click on it if your Gmail or Outlook's attached to it. And you can send it to me right there. That'd be easiest. Do I ever guest instruct via Zoom? You know, I have gotten this request a few times, and I've been thinking of adding it as a perk. I don't know what price I would charge. When I used to do lessons back in the day, they weren't cheap because my time's expensive because I can make money doing other things. Wait, did I say my time's not expensive? My time is expensive because I can be making money doing other things. So I was thinking of making it a YouTube perk for a certain amount where I could do like a 1 hour painting session or a 1 hour one-on-one session. So I've been thinking of doing that, Carrie. I just haven't had time to include it within the perk situation. If that's something you're interested in or you would like to do that, you can let me know. You can always message me and we could always set something up. But I used to do that all the time on Twitch, believe it or not. Sorry, I didn't finish reading the rest of Aaron's. Aaron asked, what is a good way to store, protect paintings while they're drying? I actually only do two ways. And one way I don't own anymore. There are things, Aaron, called drying racks. They kind of look like triangles or pyramids, if you will. Let me scoot back here. They're kind of shaped like this, okay? So the base would be down here, and they go up to a point like this. And as it goes down and cascades the triangle, there's these shelves or poles that come out, maybe every 4 inches of separation that go out, maybe about 20 inches a piece. And you rest your paintings on those sections of racks. And that's called a drying rack. Now, they make different versions of that. I think they even have one that can go on a wall. You can even build your own. I would actually be interested to build my own because it wouldn't be that hard. You just get some, 2x4s, drill some holes, and get some wooden dowels. Or you just get, shelves in general and put them on that, and you can put that on your wall. I have a garage that's attached to my home. And on one wall of my garage, I just made slates or slats or pegs that stick out like millimeters that have an upward hook to them. And that's what I rest my paintings on in my garage. And that's easiest for me. If it's a current piece of artwork that I'm working on, I keep them in the studio. I have 2 easels, so one on each easel that I'll do. If they're some finished pieces, I will either use alien tape or 3M Velcro tape. And I just, like pieces that I haven't sold yet or something that just went off the ground, I'll put those on the back of the canvas, and then I'll measure out with a bar for gapping distance between canvas and spacing, and I'll just stick it right on the wall because the 3M Velcro tape is extremely easy to take off the canvas without damaging it or the wall without damaging it. And the alien tape is it's good for heavier canvases because it can hold a little bit more at times, sometimes. Same reason, it doesn't damage your wall as long as you rub it off, and on the back of canvas you can just rub it off and it won't damage your canvas. That's kind of what I do. Yeah, you can just at me out a tweet. That's fine. Bit art. Just remind me. Let's pull up TSAs. TSAs has got an immaculate piece. An immaculate piece. I love the softness, and I actually really love the texture of this art piece you guys are about to see. Just shows super chat stickers, membership gifting, and free membership milestone. So super chats, and super stickers are YouTube's versions of sending funds. So what happens is a sticker, which I believe is what KR just sent, is where it'll populate, or I think maybe he just sent a super chat. A sticker will be like you show a graphic that, is like, hey, you're doing a good job, or cool, I want to show this off. A super chat is a highlighted message, which you can see KR sent for, sending a one-time thing. And then a membership is where you get the badge and the perks, which you already are a member. I can tell because you got the little icon after your name for you. Sylvia, you're absolutely spot on about comparing to really brilliant painters like the champs you mentioned. My God, my brain's not reading correctly. It depressed me at first because as a beginner, I fell out of my depth. Easy tutorials for me. Yeah, just start easy. Nope, nobody out there in their right mind ever started making masterpieces unless they were savants, and we're not savants. So we got to start at the bottom and then work our way up, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. You'd love to do a Thomas Kincaid? Hey, use a little bit of that inspiration and make one. You don't have a Twitter? Apologize. Do you have an Instagram by chance, Michelle? Or a phone number? So good at flirting. Yeah, what's that phone number? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, let's pull up TSAs. All right, you guys ready for this awesome, beautiful piece? Look at this masterpiece here. Let me get my ugly face out of the way. If I can find out where my key is, there we go. Look at this. Look at this. Let's take this really quick. Let's duplicate this layer. Let's get to our zoom and zoom this out so you guys can see a little bit of it. There we go. That's a perfect little spot. Look at this beauty. We got this. I'm going to go with desert. I'm going to have to say this is desert TSA, but you correct me if I'm wrong. The reason I'm thinking desert is because you got like this caravan camp down over here in the mid right side. And then you've got like, I don't know what kind of, I forget what kind of trees you call these where they go up and out really wide. But I love these shale sand mountains and dunes going across. I love the textures of rocks that I've got going on in here. And I love the perspective of the trail. This is fantastic. And I really love something I'm going to mention here at the end that I wouldn't even think to do. But it's what would happen in nature, and it's beautiful that you thought about it. You shared a painting on Instagram? It's the second to last one under tagged. Okay. Remind me at the end here, Aaron, after we do this so I can grab it for you. And same with you, Bit. Remind me at the end of this, and I will grab it. I'm gonna pull my beautiful face back up because obviously that's what the women want. So let's take a look at how we could give a little bit of perspective on this. So first of all, I think this is beautiful. It's a little hard for you guys to see. Oops, I didn't mean to take that layer. A little hard for you guys to see. I'm going to move my face just one more time. What we have over here on the left-hand side is you have like a segment of roughed-in clouds. But in my mind, I actually think it's more of like a little bit of sand and dust in the air, which is what would happen. And I think it's beautiful that you included that element that's all patchy within the sky of what you got going on. So great job, TSA. So it's an Israel desert landscape. I'm going to misenunciate. With a Bedouin tent. About my 200th painting made with oils, mostly dry brush. Yeah, and I could tell it's dry brush because of the sky patch marks that you have up in here, which is great. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we can easily see where our perspective line is. Okay, I'm gonna zoom this down so you guys. Crap. No. Go back to normal. So we can easily see where our perspective line is here that we have TSA. It's obviously right here. Okay, so everything is very, very good. I think we could enhance your painting a tiny bit by what we said in our last one. So we have our focal point. Our eye is directed within this line point here. Now, what would happen in nature is there would be so much intensity of light shining down. You've established your light sources technically over here on the right because we can tell that from our highlight side. But I would say it's actually almost pretty much straight down. Cindy, thank you for that super sticker. The super chat. Look at that. Keep it up. Work out that avocado. Keep it going. I have a Snapchat as well. I don't know if I can grab a photo off Snapchat, but I might be able to. You can email it to me if you want, or the number, that's fine. If you're one thing that I think I'm gonna get to main screen here. If you want to be an artist, Michelle, I really, really highly recommend you get an Instagram. One for inspirational art that you can absorb to take references and just be generally inspired by. Also, you can follow my beautiful face, and I sometimes post shirtless photos. They're all Photoshopped, don't worry about it. It's still got my face. And number two is you get to share your art with the world, which is going to help you, in turn, expand your brand, your presence, and help you sell your art. So I would really, really, really recommend you at least, at the very least, use Instagram. All right, let's get back here really quick. Hey, what's up, Lamps? How you doing there? Okay, so we established that your light source is more or less coming down, at least from my perspective, because I feel like that is. And the reason I feel like that, whoops, gotta click on here. The reason I feel like that is because you have an even sky. Now, what would happen is, since you have so much light kind of coming down, TSA, is in the desert and on harsh land, you have a lot of light reflected off the off the terra firma. That's a college word there, y'all. Off the terra firma, which is land. And when that happens, you get radiant light, a really harsh light. So you need to blow out this horizon a little bit more, okay? So I love the soft blues that you have coming down, but there should be more intense white coming around this area, okay? So you'd want to have a slight gradient because there's so much intensity bouncing back off the earth. And you kind of have a little bit of it here, but I think you could exacerbate it a little bit more. Exaggerate it. I don't know why I keep saying exacerbate. And then you would have these mountains be faded out into that background there, which looks great. I would probably have a little bit of a higher perspective on the mountain, or of like these distant ones here, just so it creates a little, I don't know. Dealer's choice. I personally would bring it up a little bit, but I think it's just my own personal opinion because I like seeing these distance depth that you have built in here. But everything looks good. I think you did a very good job of building the layers of here with the different intensities. You did well. Like, I honestly can see how this one is in front of this and in front of this and in front of this because you're building different saturation values within it and different opacity levels within it. YouTube page? Oh, yeah. On my YouTube page, on the About Me section. On the About Me section. It should be the last tab. Last tab. Sorry, it took me a while to see that. Yeah, make sure you do it, Michelle. It's my job to make sure that you become the most successful person out there. The best successful geek you can be. The other thing I would probably do, I don't know if this is based off a reference, I love how on this side, look how you created this beautiful downward focal point, okay? And then on this side, you have a focal point here, but we lose a little bit of this focal point because it more or less goes flat. Sorry, you can't see because of my face. On this side. You see the two different perspectives of what we have here? You should have this one point down a tiny bit. Now, you don't have to make it a huge slant like you did on your right, but what we could do is bring this point up, and then your other point comes up just a little bit more, okay? And that helps push the eye in this general direction to create focal points. And that's just something you can easily do by lifting it here. This mountain, obviously, something happened here. If I can't tell if this mountain's supposed to be behind or in front or adjoined to this, but this should either be less opacity on it, kind of like you did here. Like I can tell this mountain's behind here, or just take this and join it into here. That's fine. Looks like you forgot to clean that one up, or not. I'm not sure. But the depth in this painting is fantastic. I love how everything fades beautifully into our road, creating beautiful, beautiful natural focal points. Again, TSA, you dominated this. I love it. I love it. I love all the texture, and I love everything that you got coming across here. I would say, if you wanted to, I'm going to keep my face off screen here for just a second so that way you guys can see this left-hand side of the painting. I think your painting could probably have some darker points put into it, created from the intense shadows. Created from the intense light, creating intense shadows. So when you have your intense light hitting these particular spots over here, okay, you need to have, we'll do this in blue, you try to do it here, but there's not much. You need to have a darker point, a darker point, a darker point, and a darker point. You did it a little bit, but I think you could add a little bit more, which will really make certain parts pop. Like even on these downward sides of these, I think you could probably increase the intensity just a little bit. And you know what we could probably do actually? Here. Let's just increase the contrast a tiny bit just so we can illustrate our point. Okay? So let's take this, knock it down just a tiny bit. So here's the difference between the two. So look at how much more intense. I just want you to pay attention to the shadows. Shadows and a little bit of the highlight. Don't look at anything between. So here's less contrast and more contrast within there. Now find the difference between these, and then you would fade that. Where's my brush? Come here, Mr. Brush. Sorry, I gotta select a layer. And then fade those down and in. So that way you have intense fading in and out. So that way it increases it. And that would help out a ton. That would create the multiple layers or multiple depths. Let me just get rid of that layer really quick. Let's take a look here. Okay, so the one thing I love this road. And the reason I love this road is because you did something that most people wouldn't think about. When you take caravans or cars, you have smooth trails on the tire tracks, just like you have here. But then in the centers, you would have untouched earth. And I love how you put the rocks, and I love how you put the undisturbed earth more or less right there. And that is so smart of what you did. And I love how I said again, you have these rocks that form and create focal points down on the side. And you create this beautiful, beautiful sandstone texture and pebble appeal with all these different spatula on chiseled palette knife marks and paintbrush marks with your stones. Like, this is fantastic. I can't get that close for you guys, but you're really missing out on all the beautifulness that's here. Like, this is really, really good. I love it. The one thing I like about when you have to create rocks is they can be jaggedy. They don't have to be perfect, because sometimes the most imperfect things our brain will fill in. And I really get, like, if you look up really close to these, you can see, and I'm not taking a shot at TSA here, You can really see the imperfectness of the brush strokes. You can see the looseness of the palette knives. You can see all that stuff. And you're like, man, that doesn't look that great. You're like, these are very loose brush strokes. But it really helps out when you take that, and then when you move it back away, your eye fills in the rest, you know? It goes, oh, I can see the differences in everything that we have here, you know? It looks beautiful and fantastic. Like, look at that. Look at the highlights cascading on top of this rock and then fading off, and the cuts within it, and then the shadow side underneath. But when you look really close to it, you're like, man, that's not much going on with the rocks and the brush strokes and all that. But then when you move away, you go, oh my God, that's a rock. You did a really, really good job. This is fantastic, TSA. This is great. I think the only thing you could really accentuate on is creating the gradient points of the blown out earth of what would naturally happen. Just needs a little bit of the fadingness of the rocks of what you did here to match what you did on the right side. The focal point could be more centered to where it's going. And that I would say is pretty much it. I love the looseness of this painting. I think this is awesome. This definitely is awesome work, Tommy. Definitely. You should be extremely happy with this. You're gonna go see Thor: Love and Thunder today. I need to see that. I still haven't seen the last Thor, Ragnarok. I was on a very good binge of getting through all my Marvel stuff. And I made it all the way up to Endgame, but now I need to start watching the Spider-Mans, and I haven't seen any of the new Doctor Stranges or anything like that. This is dope. This is dope. I really, really like. Is this a reference off anything? Like, did you go here and take this photo or use this photo for anything, or is this all made up? Like, what was the inspiration behind this, TSA? Do I ever do outdoor painting like al plein air? Yeah, every now and then. So I have Carrie a travel French box easel, and when I first got it, I liked it. It has retractable, compactable legs, and it folds into like a suitcase, more or less, where I can put my brushes, paints, and other materials that I have. However, I started noticing about very good flaws with it about a year in, to where I hate it now. So I want to get a different one. I have another easel that's easily travelable, but it's quite big and it doesn't have any shelf space or anything like that. But I haven't done any recently, but I've been thinking about doing some like vlogging traveling stuff with you guys where I paint in a location and then show you. But what really is hard for me is I'm kind of like a stickler for showing you guys certain things. So I feel like I would need somebody there to help film with me while I'm doing stuff, because I want to get like cool B-roll and atmosphere and showing what I'm doing at times. And I feel like I would probably do really loose paintings, since light travels within obviously hours at a time. Painting an atmosphere is very difficult if I have to record, set up angles, talk, do this, do that. I probably wouldn't get much painting done unless I was going to do something very simple, which could be valuable, you know? Do you like to do outdoor painting, Carrie? You're watching how bad yours are while doing these? No. We all are at different stages, dude. We're all at different stages. It's all about learning. Learning from a perspective that somebody else did, just like TSA. You go, oh, I am curious. Like, how many hours did they spend? Is that oil? Is that acrylic? What was their inspiration behind it? Oh, it was a place that they went to, or it was their imagination plus a few references. Which is what TSA said. I love to see their perspective. Why did he make rocks there? What did he do to make rocks? Oh, yeah. When Wild points out that they're very loose strokes, that does look like they could be rocks. I've been spending too much time, concerning myself over certain details when the brain will fill in certain things. And that's what I want you to do. You take all these collective pieces of small information and you compile it in your brain, and then you apply it to your painting that you're doing. You got Instagram back. Only one painting uploaded onto it, so you can see it. I can't tell if it's a little fuzzy, though. I'll definitely add you right now. Well, thank you. I appreciate the follow. If anybody wants to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I greatly appreciate the follow. Trying to grow those platforms. They help me out. Plus, it gets me the ability to reach you guys on other platforms to keep in contact. This is a great painting, TSA. Thank you so much for sharing. I love it. You guys are awesome. I just now noticed. Oh, I guess that would make sense because it's out of 100. I was like, my donation goal is exactly the same percentage as the dollar amount, but it's out of 100, so of course it would be. I'm waiting to sit outside day soon. The painting of the tree down the road. Oh, that'd be awesome. I'll get to some. If you guys are interested in seeing anything from me, please let me know. You don't realize how huge of a Google Doc of everything, every comment, every criticism, every feedback, every live chat. I sit there and I add notes for everything. I might not be able to make a video about it right away, but I always try to find ways to include your comments, your questions, your concerns, help things clarify for you in my videos to some degree. Even one of my videos that I just finished but won't be coming out for a week or two is a question that I used to get asked all the time on my YouTube channel. People haven't been asking it that recently, but that's fine. But I made the whole video for that particular segment of people. Here, you've tried painting outside and it's likely for the beauty, but nature brings me many challenges with the wind, bugs. Yeah, you know what I've realized recently, since I do a lot of acrylic pour paintings, I don't know what it is with acrylics and certain oil vapor smells, but bugs love that stuff. They love it. They're like attracted to it. The wind doesn't bother me. The sun doesn't bother me too much, but the bugs do a little bit, and sometimes like sweating, because it's going to sound very rugged of me, but I would probably like to hike to a location and then paint. So I'd probably be like, already tired by the time I got there. Okie dokie Finoki. Let's get our next one up here. So some people were sending me some. I don't know if anybody's out there. Oh, wait. Aaron's a member. Aaron, where did you send yours again? I forget. Was it Twitter? Twitter, Instagram, email? Tagged me? There's somebody that sent me one that's a member. Let's see. Go to messages here. Yeah, might have to accept it on my mobile app. It take you 2 weekends. Nothing wrong with spacing out your art at all. Okay, are you live in South Mississippi? You ain't getting you outside unless it's for work. I don't blame you. I'm very fortunate to live in California to where I get a lot of good weather. And it's like, I can't really complain about my bad weather, Okay, let's see. Instagram tag, okay. Are you sure you tagged me? Because I have no new activities on my Instagram other than Michelle for the follow, thank you. And Artsy Lady. Oh wait, are you Artsy Lady by chance? No, but I can't see what was tagged on that. Oh, maybe you just tagged it. Okay, here, let me search. You probably tagged Wild Creates and not tagged my username. So let's do this. We'll do Wild Creates. Go for the hashtag. Whoops, if I can get hashtag. Let's see what was posted there. Who's this? I got Dangblay Art. No, I'm not seeing anything under Wild Creates either. Maybe Wild Creates. Oh, that's Spirit. That's not mine. Maybe just Wild Create. Let's see what's under that. Nothing there. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, Aaron. Let me try La Computadora. Let's try. Did you tag my name as in like with the @ symbol or a hashtag? Yeah, nothing under that. Can you mind sending me a direct message of it? So that way I can grab it for you. Because I ain't got anything that's popping up on my channel for you, buddy. Oh, no. Oh, my Instagram is... oh, sorry. It's the number 4. It's the number 4. Wild 4 games. Like that. Yeah, you want to send it to Wild 4 games. That's what my, Oh, maybe you hashtag that. Let's take a look at that. Maybe I wasn't thinking that way. So, hashtag Wild 4 games. Oh, that says no result. Oh, no, wait, no. I got nothing out of that, too. Where'd you send this, Aaron? Oh, wait, maybe you did it on Twitter? Okay, let's take a look there. Got notification. I got the bit art one. I got that one from you. I see the tag on there, but I'm not seeing Aaron's, and I got to get Aaron's because he is the member. And I feel bad if I can't get his. Just send me a DM on it, and that'll be easiest for me, Aaron. And then might as well just grab Bitly's while I'm here. All right, let's see. Let me grab one that's... Photos are a tiny bit fuzzy. But we'll see what we can get here. This one looks to be the most clean image. Alrighty. Feel like I'm doing a real law. Trillion? Let me see. I don't know why it's not popping up on my side. We seem to always have this issue for some reason. Was it a Facebook message? That's probably why. Or under requests? No. Alright, let me try searching for you, dude, on my phone. Let's see. T-I... Where is it? I just lost where your name was. T-R-R-R-E-L-L A-A-R-O-N. Alright, there you are. Oh yeah, no, I've seen this one before. Oh, maybe it went back. Maybe that's what it did. I don't think it popped to the top. How far back did this go? God dang, I got so many. There we are. Found it. It did not send to me. Hold on, let's see. Can I save this? Save. Why does it only say... Oh. Hold on, I'm going to screen grab this real quick. Don't pay attention to what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, it's the landscape painting with the mountains and the ridge, and the 1, 2, 3 grass ridges. This is one you sent to me like weeks ago, I remember. Here, we'll just grab that. Crop. Save. We'll call it 12. All right, we'll call it Aaron. Put that in the review section. Give me 1 second, peeps. Sorry for the lull here. Trying my best. There we go. All right, now I think I got it, Aaron. Although I just saw a message pop through. I can see your message, but it's not popped to the top. For some reason, it's on the bottom of what I have. That's stupid, but it is what it is. Primal, bro. Have you ready to party at TwitchCon after the summer? I'm going nuts. You better be saving up all that money and buying Wild a bunch of drinks, dude. All right, now I got it, Aaron. Let me just pull this one up so this way you can just confirm that this is you. And let's switch over to our side. Sylvia, thank you for coming a member, my friend. Thank you for that love. I appreciate it. I assume, oops, hit the wrong one. Oops, and hit wrong one again. There we go. Sylvia, how you doing there, my friend? I'm ready to party too. Ryan's got to start making some more money. You love the dino? That was just one of the free ones that I could get for an alert. I haven't really set up my custom ones yet. Oh, I'm ready. Good. I just got to get my body back in shape. I still got to check. I have a feeling I didn't get accepted for the booth because I think I was supposed to hear back, but I haven't really checked on it. But nobody else has mentioned anything. So I guess that's a good thing. But maybe it was the end of this month I'm supposed to hear. Or maybe it's the 15th. I can't remember. All right. This one is Aaron's. Also, Pedro, thank you so much for that 2 months. I appreciate your little light touch that you give. You are a beautiful human being, and thank you for the support. We appreciate it here on this community that we have. Okie dokie Finoki. Let's keep this a rolling. So I'm assuming this is Aaron's because he sent it to me. No booth, sleeping in. No. It's not sleeping in. It's more like more time to get over my hangover. Because I'm pretty sure that's what will happen. Although we can't sleep in too much because I'm still going to work. We're going to record stuff at Boost. And this could actually be cool for you too, Primo, now that you're doing stuff. Maybe you, I don't know what there would be. Maybe there would be more creative games. If there's some creative games, maybe you could do like previews of stuff that we could record for people or for your channel. Or, I don't know, maybe there's like some cool controllers or something that you can do. I don't know. We'll find something for both of us. I think it'd be pretty cool. I think people like to see behind the scenes stuff. You guys don't know, but Primal Gaming is one of my friends, and he has his own YouTube channel as well. He makes Minecraft content or creative content. So if you guys are interested in anything like that, you could always give him a nice little follow. He's trying to get to 100 subscribers. And he's slowly getting his way there now. He's doing good. All right, good. We got this. This is Aaron's. All right, let's take a look at what Aaron has here. Now, I took a look at this before because he sent it to me, and this is awesome. So, Aaron, I like the little ambiance that you got going on in here. So, let me get rid of my face here for just a moment. And Diablo Immortal, let's go. I was playing the mobile version game of that. I've had fun with it. I don't need to be one of the people that spends 10K on it, but I will have fun playing the free side of it, and when I get over it, I'll get over it. So we got a beautiful, beautiful, I'm going to say very cold sunset winter scene with our sun setting behind our mountains, our clouds cascading out and across, our very, very heavy hit cocaine mountains with a lot of snow on them, and then low-hanging valley with some, I would say, clouds or mist shining through. Then our foreground, either hill or grass element with some trees and some bushes. Michelle. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for the love. I love the love that you give, and I'm glad that we can geek out together, my dear. Let's see. Your I was gonna try to think of like who's an angel in there. Pedro, thank you for the $2 dono super chat. Also coming in strong. Look at this love. You guys are coming in good. Coming in good, and I appreciate all the love that you give. You guys are fantastic. You have spent 0 on loving. I know that's like my greatest accomplishment. Everybody's talking about how much the money that they spent on a game, and I'm like, oh no, I haven't spent any. This is cool. Thank you for that $2, technically euro, which is easier. Dono, my friend. We're slowly getting my way up to the donation goal for me getting a new microphone for when I have to record tutorials for you guys. I'm gonna get a wireless one. That's my next goal. It's my next goal. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And I appreciate the content that you guys help. All right, let's take a look at what we can do for errands. Let me wet my whistle here really quick. Much better. All right, so I love the soft colors. Oh yeah, I probably should ask that, Aaron. So yes, this is your second painting. I'm assuming it's obviously oil. Can you let us know about how long it took you to make? Like how many hours? That would probably help some people out. I'm going to turn my... There we go. Just so I'm a little more centered for all you beautiful people out there. All right, let's take a look. So I love the soft sunset cold sky here. I love the cascading of the alizarin crimson nor bright red that turns into a pink on top of the magic white and then fades out onto the colder, I don't know, phthalo blue with a little bit of gray in it, black, whatever it might be. Looks beautiful. 7 hours, cool. Thank you for sharing. I love the clouds and cascade. My favorite part, I would have to say, is right here. This. I would say this is the most natural part of the painting. And the reason is because, let me get a little smaller brush, is you can see all the different densities happening within here. This looks fantastic. There's hot spots, cold spots, bright spots, dark spots, transparent spots, and opaque spots. This is a perfect cloud, okay? This is beautiful. Has all this freeform shape, and I love the kissing of crowns that you got going on here. The only problem I would say, Aaron, is all of your clouds, except for this big chunk here, this is fine, they all kind of go the same way. And that's not bad, because clouds can pretty much go whatever they want. But since you made this section here so good with different transparencies, I would say you need to replicate that on these, because generally clouds are going to be somewhat the same in the same environment with density and atmosphere. So I think this side just got away from you a little bit. I think you probably went a little heavy-handed. You didn't fade them out. You put on bigger blobs. So my tip for you is this side good. This side not so good. All right? At least my personal opinion. So what I would say is when you make this section, take your time. Do one section at a time. Then do this section, one section at a time. Then stand back and see how your clouds and formations would go. You want to keep some of the sky in here because it's a beautiful sky that you took and built. So maybe we X-nay this cloud, and then we put like a little soft one that just cascades off into here. So now we got more, now we got more of our sky we can see, and it adds a little bit more. And then I would probably add a little more color down into here, okay? And what that's going to do is it's going to give us more separation between the clouds and the background mountain layers. You worked really hard on this beautiful, beautiful sky, and you're kind of covering it up a lot. So I would say work a little bit of it out on the bottom here, so that way you get more color to shine through, and in certain sections, so there's a little different densities kicking through. All right, we'll be waiting for you, prime time. All right, now let's take a look at the biggest part we have here. I would say next time, cheat a little bit, and put like 2 pieces of tape on the side of your canvas here, Aaron, so that way you know where your flat horizon line is going to be, okay? And what that's going to help us do is visualize. Now, your mountains aren't bad. They could be better, though. You kind of have, if we rotated the canvas a little bit, your mountains kind of just have this basic shape where they're all triangle-esque, okay? And let's switch this to red. Your triangles are decent. This is your second painting. It's okay, but let's just easily make some changes here. I would say concentrate on having 3 mountains and work on each one individually, okay? I would say you could take one mountain and bring it up, all right? There's mountain number 1. Then we take mountain number 2 and bring it up a little higher, all right? So we got one mountain here, one mountain here. And then you could take mountain number 3 and have it go way higher if you wanted to, and then it cascades off and across. So now, whoops, wrong thing. Brush, where'd you go? Oh, I messed up my colors. Poopy whoopy. All right, hold on, let me get my blue back. There we go. So now you've created 3 planes, okay? Now, you could obviously take these. Hold on. Nobody wants your dating sites, bro. There we go. That took 2 seconds. There we go. I took care of it. So you could do these 3 planes, but still, you have a straight line, which isn't necessarily good, okay? So what we could do to fix this to be even easier for you is let's add different planes to it, all right? So let's say let's start with your biggest part of your mountain, which would be like right here. Okay, that fades down and off, Well, let's take our next mountain and let's put it over here, and it fades down and it comes off. And we take our next mountain, fades down and off here. So now you've created this like more triangular effect going up in here and creates a little better illusion for the eye, all right? So I would say concentrate on doing 3 mountains. Now, when you're going to do mountains, have a little bit of a shaky hand. So let's take that first one, and you come up, and it goes over, and it goes up, and then down, okay? Maybe we just leave it at that. And if you wanted to, you could maybe add, let's just say a ridge over here, and then we erase, whoops, that's not an eraser. How's that not an eraser? Oh, because I'm not on the right erase. Wait, why is this erasing with blue? Really? On this layer, it's erasing with blue. That's a brush. All right, well, apparently it won't let me erase now, so cool. Good job. Why is it doing that? Brush, erase, there we go. That was weird. All right, let's redraw this. You got a mountain, it's coming up, coming down, like that. Then you can add another peak, come down and through, okay? Then you take your other mountain, come up and come down and through, and then just fade that out. So what you're gonna wanna do is on this side here, pull out all the excess color of what we have, all right? So now we know these mountains are coming down and through just like that. And we've added a few more angles because we've added these ridges and cracks all the way through here, okay? Now what I want you to do is cheat and make a division line in here of where you think the snow is gonna come down and across, okay? So that way when you add in your highlights, you can easily see where you need to add everything and fade it out and down and across, all right? Then when you put in your shadow side, you can push these mountains to wherever you need them to be, all right? And there you've created something way more simplistic for yourself, Aaron, but it's just gonna have a way more visual impact. Now, the biggest problem you had here was obviously your caked on amount of snow. So what I want you to do is, when you create that little guideline right here, these ones that come in and through, scratch that in with your knife, and then take your palette knife, and right here at the top, I just want you to meet the top of the mountain with the blade like that, and just gingerly come down and across and let that paint break. Now, I know you're like, well, that's what I tried to do. Yes, but if nothing grabs, don't let it grab. Just keep going down and across. Just keep let it going down and across. And eventually you can just let the weight of the knife and the paint on it just go. I could tell from here, you were just pushing too much. You're just pushing too much because I can see that there's pushed on marks just like that. So you had the, what I like to call the butter knife and toast effect. All right. So we just need to have you practice that in your spare time, just letting the weight of the knife do a lot of the work. And then you need to get a little bit better with adding the shadow sides. You don't have really any shadow sides. Your mountains would come off a lot better if you had, God darn it, if you had a cut in line here, and then you could easily add in a little bit more shadow where it can meet that highlight side coming across, and you create these beautiful, beautiful valleys. The other thing that's going to really make your mountains stand out is on the base, buddy. You didn't fade out anything. There's no fading of your mountain, so there's nothing pushed back. So one trick you can do, like let's say this mountain right here, if you want it to come in front of this mountain, all you need to do is on the base of this, tap on it with your 2-inch or 1-inch brush and tap up. And what it's going to do is eventually you remove a lot of this color and haze it out. So it looks like when you bring your cut and break in front of it, it's pushing that mountain back. Same thing with this mountain. You can go up here and tap up into the base and fade it down and across. So that way when you take this highlight and come across, you're pushing this mountain behind that mountain. And it's going to add a lot more ridges and breaks into it. Plus, when you start putting all of these bottom layers on here, you're removing those excess layers of paint and thicknesses of paint to where this is going to fade in and be better. All right. Now, since you have what I imagine are ridges and planes down in here, you have to remember that ridges and planes will follow, more or less follow the environment you have built within your mountain. So if your planes are coming down and across like this, these ridges have to come up with it, okay? So start tapping those up into it. Let me remove my face here for you to illustrate it. So for example, gosh darn it. So for example, like this plane right here, you have this plane break come down and across. So this ridge, or this ridge, let's do this other one, would technically come up and meet it, all right? And then you would make your trees come up in here and fade because you've already created these separation lines, which are going to enhance the fog, all right? Now, what we have to do here, the other big problem you have, Aaron, is this color is too similar to this color back here. We need a better separation of tone and contrast. Excuse me, I had to take a drink of water there. So I would say take this color in your foreground and we need to darken it up like a lot more. Because if we change this to a black and white photo, See how there's not much of a difference in value between these two? So we're not really creating that strong of a plane of separation, all right? So you need to darken this up a lot more, and then to help it stand out, we need to add some highlight on it. Obviously, we know within the environment that there is a butt ton of snow that happens. I mean, look, the snow comes all the way down, all the way down. Hey, Pat, how you doing there, buddy? So what we do is when you tap in all of this land here and you build it, dude, you want to create different layers and different planes, but then you want to take snow, take some liquid white, and start tapping in on top and creating all these different snow plane fields that would happen on top of here, okay? The blue would represent snow in a better representation, okay? You'd want to tap that all in, and there you would create separational planes between these two layers, and that would stand out. That would also help build detail. Now that we're a lot closer, we can see detail, which would be that snow shale, that snowflake, that snow cast, that snow cap covering of all this plane that you can do. And tapping in liquid white highlights is very easy. Very easy. Your trees aren't bad. Your trees aren't bad. They're just not great. And the reason you're having trouble with them is because you have... Where's my brush again? Where's my brush? Pedro, how's your day going, buddy? The reason you're having trouble with them is because there's so much excess paint, especially down here at the bottom, that you're having troubles getting your layers to stick. So if we know that we're going to put trees in this general area, a trick you can do is grab your blue shop towel and your pilot knife, scrape off this excess section a little bit, rub it off the paper towel, and now you have a drier toothing to where your trees can grab a little bit more. And then just start slowly tapping in. Your tree shape isn't bad. Actually, it's extremely good up here at the top. Like, you should be happy. You do a very good job. It just loses its luster in the bottom of the tree. This one's actually pretty decent. You lose your luster here because you kind of lose the shape and you probably didn't have enough paint sticking. So, I know from experience, you started pushing even harder and harder. And then you start mud mixing. And then you're like, fuck, now it's not coming out the way I want. And you get all these different consistencies of paint. You want your paint for when you apply trees to be, I would say, like a smooth peanut butter, if you will, okay? Smooth peanut butter is going to allow that viscosity of paint to come off the paint brush. Real easy, but be firm enough to when you go back and add highlights on top of it, other creamier highlights will stick on top of that. So try to get like a smooth peanut butter consistency, if you will, for this, Aaron, and then come back and highlight it again with that liquid white so it will stick. And then just add a few highlights to create separational planes. And then what we can do is, I would say, take a really, really, really dark color, like a dark sap green, Van Dyke brown, and blue. Let's get rid of that one arrow. Come in here. And then make some bushes right here. Make a nice little foreground element. And then highlight these with liquid white. And then you've created more planes, more depth, more perspective that you've built within this. All in all, I think this is great. I think you said this is only like your second or fourth painting, somewhere in there. You should be extremely happy with what this is. You did a lot of things correct, but you did a lot of things also wrong. But the things that you did wrong are so easily correctable that I would say repaint this again. So, Aaron, if you get a chance, do this again. Your sky's fantastic and your clouds are almost there. Just re-represent what you did with this section right here. Right here looks beautiful. Like, this is my favorite part of the painting. I love the different densities in this section right here. Pull this a little closer for you guys. There you go. But then work on a more simplified mountain. I would say, gosh darn it, Ryan. There we go. Work on a more simplified mountain. Bring one peak. Whoops. Bring one peak up and fade. One peak up and fade. Or actually, that one's a crappy mountain. Bring a mountain up and then bring it down. Fade over in the side. Another little mountain over and fade out. Put on the snow. Work it off. Break up a little bit just on top here. Put in your guidelines so that way you know exactly where snow is going to go. Fade out the bottom. Bring your ridges from the bottom up to meet where the breaks and the planes would be, because that's what would happen in nature of how it would happen. You would have your highlights, or sorry, your fog banks fall on the peaks because they're peeking out, and then your trees down and in, and then put a stronger forest perspective of darker curl up in here, or work on your trees, and then add the highlights. add the highlights, and boom, you'll have an amazing artwork. That looks great, though. I think you will be astonished, Aaron, at your first one, which is that, and then your second painting. I think you'll be like, holy shit, this is way leaps and bounds better. And you're going to learn so much from doing that. So much. Like, literally paint that same painting twice. I'm glad these are being helpful for you, Bit. I like doing these too, because I get a lot of inspiration from you guys. Like, I never think about doing certain perspectives, like that caravan picture that we had with the nice little tent and the Israel desert. I love that. That's beautiful. Like, I never think of painting desert sceneries as much, but I actually think sand is beautiful elements, you know? I love seeing the forest perspective that we had from the swamp bog of, you know, building a nice little concentration of circular highlights that lead into a focal point encapsulated by trees. I love seeing everybody's different perspectives, and these are also very informative and informational to me. Pat, I'm doing fantastic. Hopefully you're doing well today. Peanut butter. I like peanut butter, but it's not my favorite, unless it's in a Reese's peanut butter cup. You're going to do a version 2 for sure. Thank you so much for the great advice. Dude, I'm telling you, if you can by this weekend, Aaron, if you have time, obviously, do it. Paint it. Paint it, and I think you will be surprised. Like, tonight, just sit there, open up a bottle of wine, a little bit of whiskey, whatever your poison is, put on a few tunes, throw up your picture as a reference next to it, or whatever you're using as reference, and just have fun. Just think about what you need to improve upon, and I think you will be astonished at how, like, it's 10 times better. Nothing like Peter. Isn't that funny, Primal? When you watch that episode, did you see the Peter Pan peanut butter? Oh, too good, too good. Alrighty, let me oh, excuse me. Getting to the point where I'm getting hungry again. Alrighty, we got time to do another. You need constructive instructions, so I'm glad you took a look at it. I'm glad that I can give it to you guys. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. I like to tear down a painting a little bit, but I like to give some insight and build you back up, and I don't mind it when you guys do it to mine as well. I struggle with painting all the time. All the time. And sometimes I try to do a little too much for myself. Cold beer sounds so good. I will be drinking a little bit later tonight. I wish you didn't have work tomorrow, Prime, because I really want to play some Apex. I played some last night. I got some good teams I got matched up with, but it seems like every team I get matched up with, if we have a good round, it falls apart within the final 8. Like, I had 2 games, we got to the final 4, and I was like, let's go here. It's way safer going around this way because we'll have the high ground, and then these walls can protect us on the left, and nobody can come up from back. And the other guys were, let's go left. Let's go left. They're all over here. I'm like, yeah, they're over here, but we can attack them from... No, let's go left. Let's go... And of course, what happened? I followed them because I want to stay with them. The minute they go left, they died. And I was like, cool, bro. Cool games. All right, who we got next? Is anybody else a YouTube member that would like to get theirs reviewed? Oh, Sylvia had theirs, I believe. Or no, or Pedro. Pedro, are you still here? I saw that you sent me one, I think. The rocks are amazing. Please tear down your paintings. Can do. Oh, cool. Thank you, KR. So kind, so kind. You be the comic relief? Well, I'm pretty good comic relief with sometimes with how shitty my gameplay is. Is Pedro still here? If not, I got one from Bit. I have Tin Lizard that I already grabbed. Oscar was in here earlier. Oh, Cindy, you got one? You tweeted it. Did that one come through? On the Tweeter sphere? Oh, I see Cindy's. Let me grab you, Cindy. I got you, girl. Cindy. Alrighty, let's get these up and over here. Thank you for helping out Bit on grabbing Cindy's. You saw a Reese's peanut butter cup the other day with no chocolate? It was just solid peanut butter? What? All right, that seems weird. There was one that was in the store the other day. I almost got it, but I didn't because I've been trying to eat a little bit better, Primal. It was a Reese's peanut butter cup, but the inside of the peanut butter cup was peanut butter and like wafer. It looked like it was wafer, but it looked like from the picture like where it was cracked open, it was like almost like a Butterfinger wafer, you know? Like I don't know what you'd call that, like toffiness wafer. It looked interesting and I was like, fuck, I really want it. But I've been trying to stay away from candy, although I did have ice cream the other day. Okay, cool. Thank you, Tommy. I do YouTube channel members first. It's the perk that I give. So if you guys want to join, I can always get to it. What's up, Bruno? Where do you send your paintings? Twitter, Instagram is the best for me. Oh, hold on. Got a phone call coming. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna mute the mic. Oh, hold on. I just missed the phone. I got to call back. Uno momento, por favor. Just went right to voicemail. Hold on. Alrighty. What was I doing? Oh, I was grabbing Cindy's. There we go. Scatterbrained here for a second. Oh, I'll do my best. I can't make any guarantees, Michelle, but remind me, please. We got Pedro and Michelle. Michelle was actually here before Pedro, so I would do hers first, but I might be able to get both in. We'll see. I'm still feeling good. I still got water. I might have to get some more water here in a moment. But if you guys are having fun, you're liking these, and you're interacting and chatting with me to keep me going, and you're chatting with each other, then I'll keep doing them. Or I'll keep going as far as I can. What? Yeah, they stream sent me on a phone call. Hi, got you. Ha, boom. I did get the message from Twitter. When I went to go grab Cindy's, I saw that it was there. That's all right. I'm glad we figured it out. All right, so this one is Cindy's. Let's roll it up in here. Boom. Yours is quick. Yours is quick. And I like simplistic stuff. I'm actually a huge fan of minimalistic paintings. I don't know why. I find them to be sometimes the most expressive and sometimes one of the interesting ones. Peanut69 301 is you on PlayStation. Haven't played Apex, but I love Zero Build Fortnite. Many Souls games. I love Souls. So no joke. Hold on 1 second. Me and my buddy have been playing some Dark Souls games. So I don't know why we went back, and he never played the original Demon Souls. I played it when it was on PlayStation 3, but he never played it. So we bought the remake for PlayStation 5, which was actually really good. And normally when I play those games, I always fall into the same habit of playing Sword and Shield, more like a dex build, if you will. And I was like, dude, I want to play a magic build. I've never played magic build, so we played magic builds, and I've always been told it is the easiest build in all those games because they're OP, and it is. We played a magic build in Demon Souls, and it just wrecks, which was fun because I never got to do that. But we had a blast playing it. I hadn't played it since it was released a number of years ago. Then I never played Bloodborne, which everybody plays Bloodborne. I played the very first boss in Bloodborne, and then like a game came out that I got distracted with. So him and I played that, and we just finished that like maybe a month ago, and that was super fun. Actually really liked it, which is weird. We never did the Chalice runs. We just did the main story because that's all we felt we needed to. And then we played Noih, N-O-I-H. I think that's how you say it, Noih. And we did not have fun with it. We played the first couple of bosses. I didn't like the stance changes. It was only okay, so we skipped that. And now we're looking, and then we just played Blasphemous on Steam. And Blasphemous is like a 2D dark Demon Souls, Bloodborne kind of style. And it was great. We had a blast playing that. So I would recommend Blasphemous. And then I think the next thing we're probably going to play is like maybe Hollow Knight or something like that. I don't know. We got a lot of games on Steam that we got to roll through. But my main question I was going to ask for you, Michelle, is how did you come up with the name Peanut 69310? It seems very specific. But now back to it. But I love playing games. Games is a big part of my life. I love games. Game every day. All right, let's take a look at this. I love the smoothness of this painting, by the way. I'm very bad at doing smooth paintings myself, but this looks beautiful. So we've got our beautiful sky, one almighty cloud that's just lingering in, our mountain peak coming down across, a distant tree line, and our water shore of a river or lake, not really sure, and then our foreground element, which is reeds with bushes in it. So let's start at the bottom, let's start at the top. That's a lot easier. This is actually gonna be really easy because you have all the foundational elements within this Cindy. However, you're making a lot of basic mistakes. So allow me to correct them for you. Very first thing I want you to do is I want you to repaint this again, just like you're gonna do with Aaron. And the way I want you to repaint it is, we need to make a focal point. Our focal point is just gonna be dead center. Now, normally that's not the correct way to do a painting. You wanna direct it to something by the rule of thirds, but I want you to direct it to the center. And the way we're gonna direct it to the center is, Cindy, is by doing something easy, by creating a vignette. So when you're creating your blue color up here in the top right and top left, I just want you to bring your sky down in a normal blend. And wherever your horizon is, right here is where I want you to stop, okay? However, when you stop and you blend this in, I want you to go back in these top right and top left corners. I want you to add a little more blue. Just take your paintbrush and just do a couple X strokes right here. Just do a couple X strokes, and that's gonna make a darker corner side, which automatically is pulling the eye towards the center. Very super simple, okay? Now, on your horizon line, you need to leave more white at it. So your gradient needs to slowly stop as it gets here. That's gonna create separational values. As you can see, you kind of got it going on here. You see the awesome separational value you have going around your trees with the blue, or I'm sorry, with the white. You wanna do that a little bit with your mountain too. You got it right here, but we need to have a little bit more, okay? So I would bring your mountain down a little bit, bring that blue down a little bit, but then make sure it fades the white off. Gosh darn it, I keep hitting that. Fades the white off right around here, all right? It's gonna create separation between your cloud, mountain, and mid-ground of your trees. Something super simple. Just having a little more foresight of where you bring your colors in. Aaron, I'm about to go. Thank you for the review, and thanks for all the great artists out there. Every one of these paintings and reviews has been learning experience, and I'm glad I can inspire you. I'm glad that I can too, and I love what you do, and I can't wait to see the second painting of that. Alrighty, so you have very big triangular problems here, okay? What we need to do for you, Cindy, is look, you have boom, 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 boom. Looks like a punk hairdo, okay? What we need to do is simplicity. I only want you to do like 2 or 3 mountains, just like we said in the last one. Bring it up, come down, bring it up, come down. Maybe this one has a little bit higher of a ridge that comes down across, but then you have what you need to do. Look, we've already created just simple mountains, and you need to learn to take your 1-inch brush or 2-inch brush or a dagger brush and just slowly pull these down and fade. Now, what you want to do is you have a little bit of control as an artist of where you want yours to fade. So what I would do is pull this all down, okay? Pull this all down just like this in the direction that you want to fade, the direction that you want to fade, the direction that you want to fade. Then you want to take your shadow, pull it down in the direction you want to fade, direction you want to fade, direction you want to fade. And now you're going to create these planes, or sorry, these peaks and valleys and ridges, normally just by pulling the colors in the way that you want, all right? Now what I want you to do is on your shadow side, take your same mountain color and add a few strokes in the shadow direction, in the shadow direction, in the shadow direction, okay? Now I want you to take a like 1-inch or dagger brush and add a little bit of white to your mountain and just pull in your highlight side and pull in your highlight side and pull in your highlight side. And it's just gonna add a little nuance of detail up in your mountain, okay? This mountain is way too big to not have a little bit of detail. It needs to have a little bit. I forgot to create a layer. That's my fault. I am the best. I knows it. I'm an awesome man. But thank you, I appreciate it. Demon Souls was the only one I had trouble with, but I was solo. I just played Bloodborne again. You know what's funny is We did Demon Souls all solo because I figured the remake had been out for so long there was probably nobody to summon, and I kind of forgot how to summon people with the soapstones. But we did it well. Bloodborne, you can only summon NPCs, right? Sometimes we would summon the NPCs, but I shit you not, the NPCs did nothing, and it was pissing us off to where we wouldn't summon them. I think there was one time one NPC actually did something, and we were like, hell yeah, he's argoing a lot, so this is great. Don't be fooled by my tough outer shell. Inside, I'm quite fragile. I'm 6'1" and get called Wonder Woman by my friends 20 years ago. I was also called Peanut, so it's stuck. That's all right. My mom called me Peanut. Still does sometimes. Oh, it's the old zip code. Okay. I was like, that's all right. I got a tough outer shell and a nice creamy center. Oh. I'm glad my tips that I'm giving you, Sylvia, are helping. All right. So since you didn't do snow, we don't have to comment on it, but I would say start trying snow on a practice canvas. Your cloud is actually fine. I probably should have gotten to that sooner. Your cloud is fine. The only problem I would have with it is generally, not always, clouds generally have flat bottoms, which you did here and you did here, but here it kind of like curves out in a way and rounds out. We don't want that, okay? What I would say is if you're going to make your cloud, think of where you want it to go, but then we need to fade this bottom out. You need to slowly blend different parts of this cloud by doing small circular strokes. And I would if this was my cloud, I would take this one cloud and keep it one, but break up different parts of it. So for example, Cindy, I would blend circular motions here. Then I would take this and I would blend circular motions here. I would blend circular motions here, maybe a little bit here, and then blend a lot of circular motions here. So that way on these blue parts, whoops, that's not blue. On these blue parts here, there's gonna be more untouched part, which means the white's gonna stick out more. And then on where the red is, the blue is gonna start to show through and create different densities. Then where the blue is, I would go back and I would add a little more white on top of this just to give it a little more crown. So that way when I take my brush and I swoop up, just like this, it's going to create beautiful little highlights in the cloud, and it's going to look awesome, okay? And there you'd have a beautiful cloud. Your tree's fine. Your tree line is okay, but it looks slanted. It looks slanted. So what you can do is cheat. You could treat and take a ruler and just make a straight line, so that way it keeps everything to go up, because it looks like everything's kind of a little bit slanted a little bit. Not that that's unnatural. If you're gonna have things be slanted, I would make some straight, some slanted, but it just looks like there's a cluster, like you're off to the side, maybe stand a little bit more in front of it. I would probably take a 2-inch brush and pull these up a little bit, so that way you have a little more faded tops to push it back into the background, push them further into the background. Your lines with your palette knife are a little skewed over to the side, like there's some that are slanted. You don't have to do the lines if you don't want to. These are in the background. But what I would probably do is add a little bit of dots of white in the bottom, then take a fan brush and pull up just like that. And that'll make it look like there's tree trunks at the bottom, that light's shining through. Very easy, simple trick to do. You can summon friends? You have to have the right bell. There's actually 4, I think. 1 for NPCs, 1 for co-op, and... Wait, you can do 2-player? On that game? Like, you and I could play the whole game together? Or can you only do 2-player in the Chalice missions? I thought I read it was only in the Chalice missions, not like the actual gameplay. No shit, if that's true, I'm going to be bummed because my friend and I could have just done it together. 2-player seems like way too easy, though. Way too easy. That's going to bother me now. When are you planning your next live review? P.S. I think you and your channel are absolutely amazing, and I tell everyone to check it out. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the love that you give, Carrie. I try to do them like every other weekend, but it really just depends on what my schedule is and how much available time I have. I wouldn't mind doing them every weekend if possible, but I keep saying I'm going to this, but I have not made time for it. I want to try doing one of these during the weekday to see if I can get some other people to tune in, and at a different time, maybe at night, so that way it makes more sense for people in different parts of the world. But the easiest thing to do, Carrie, is follow on Twitter, Instagram, and my YouTube channel, because I will always tweet out when I will do them. All right, so one of the biggest problems you have here, Cindy, is you've got these beautiful water lines, but they're the same density and same brashness and same thickness as these ones in the background, or midground, if you will. So what you need to do is you actually need to make these lines way thinner and smaller. And then you need to fade them out ever so lightly. Take a fan brush, a 1-inch brush, whatever brush you have confidence with, and gingerly fade out these back ones so they fade. And then as you get closer, you can make bigger ones. Then as you get closer, you can make bigger ones, okay? So that way you're creating perspective and depth of field. Now, when you're making water lines, I actually have a video on this. I recommend you check it out, Cindy. I think it's just called water lines. So maybe type in Wild Creates water lines, something like that, or water palette knife, I think is what I called it. You need to learn how to create straight lines with your palette knife. So putting paint on top of the knife or putting paint under the knife has different effects, which I show in that video. So watch that video and then apply it to this painting, because you'll be able to make water look like it's moving in certain directions, and white capping and flowing and fading out into certain directions to where it's adding more of a reflection for you. Okay, that would help out a lot for this video, and it would give you more detail, if you will, in this painting. And it's actually one of the easiest things to do. One of the easiest things to do. Carrie, you'll have to let us at some point take a look at your artwork to review. You really needed this? I'm glad. Okay, so last part. We got this. I actually think your bushes are pretty good. So you got this beautiful bush, and it's got different shapes to it, which is what would happen in nature. Bushes grow at different nourishment levels, if you will. I don't know if that's a correct term, but I'm going with it, so don't correct me on it. So here's what I would do. I suck at painting reeds, but reeds are awesome. What you want to do, Cindy, is put in the shape, the base color of your bush first, that dark blue, black, green color. Then it's actually easier to take that same blue, black, green color, introduce a little bit of medium or paint thinner into it, and then paint your reeds, okay? Because at least from my perspective, your reeds are coming out of your back side of your bush. So then just take a nice little script liner brush and literally just flick, 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 just like that. Reload your brush every single time if you need, if you're not confident, or when you feel like you need to, okay? Then what you need to do is we need to make highlights. And your highlights aren't bad, to be honest, but I can tell you made a simple mistake that every brand new painter does, is you did not use enough paint. And I know that because you're probably being stingy with your paint. To make correct highlights, you have to use the correct, which is usually ample enough of color and paint. All right. So you need to take a thinner or fattier paint, which would be your cadmium yellow. Let's just make it nice and easy. Take a little bit of cadmium yellow and a little bit of liquid white, something like a 1-to-1 ratio, or a 1/4 to 3/4 of cadmium. So cadmium yellow would be 3/4 and liquid white would be 1/4, and mix that up, and you're gonna have a nice little creamy paint. Then take your brush, go through, get a nice application, and then tap down on your palette. There should be little whipped peaks left on the palette. And if you have that, that's how you know you're gonna have the correct application. And turn your brush over, so that way the rounded tips at the side, rounded tops on the rounded side is on the top. Brain's going fuzzy. And then when you approach your canvas, just gingerly push, and the bristles should ever bend ever so slightly, and just push up. So you're not just pushing in, you're kind of like pushing up a little bit, just a little bit of a rise. And you're going to put that just ever so slightly above the green. The bottom of the brush is going to touch the green, but the other part won't. And then put those in certain sections, and then you're going to have little, thick, awesome spots. And what you need to do is make sure wherever you put them, you need to leave dark spots next to it, illustrated by the blue right here, okay? Then when you take your next section, you can take the highlight that cuts between the blue, all right? And then you'd have another one here. So don't kill all your dark, because for the highlights to stand out, you need to have the contrast. You had a Harry Potter moment? Was I doing a lot of Fantasia? You can play the game itself with a friend. Oh my god. You have to summon them with a bell. First playthrough, I summoned a friend when a boss was too hard. Now I wreck on my own. Wait, okay. I'm following, Michelle. But can you only summon friends for bosses? Or can you summon friends to play the entire, like, level of a game? Like, you know, like when you're in, like, the town. Like right when you're starting out and you start in the town. And you go through the corridors and all that stuff. Like, can you play that? Or only when you get to the boss? Like the first boss, which is like that beast gargoyle guy? Because if it's only for the bosses, that's kind of just like Demon Souls. I thought you were playing, like, you could play the whole game with a friend. That seems like that would be way too OP, though. Like, you could blast through the game, no problem. No, I like Souls talk. I love games, dude. I mean, like, look, I got my retro Mega Man right here. Look at this. I forgot where I bought this off. Like 8bit.com. Yeah, I am 8bit. Got all my stuff. Look, I even got some of my Marvel cards over here. Look, and some jewel cases. I'm a nerd. The only difference is I'm a stud also. Cindy, this is a beautiful painting, but I think those simple little changes is going to really impact it, and I really want you to paint this thing again. So, just to reiterate, want you to pull down your clouds, I want you to pull down your sky, create the vignette, create a nice horizon line where the white's going to reflect and create separational values, then fade out the bottom of your clouds, remember to add the different densities, and then put in the highlights here at the top. Then simplify your mountain, maybe do like 2 or 3, whatever you need to do. Then add a little bit of white at the bottom and flick up to create trunks. Thinner water lines in the background, and then get thicker as they come forward. Brush them out to soften them a little bit. Dark color for your bushes. Flick on the reeds. And then add your highlight color, but don't kill all the black, and you got it. You got it. I really, really, really want to see this painting done again, and I think it's going to look super fantastical awesomeness. That's the best way I could put it. Best way I could put it. I've seen the first Harry Potter, but I need to watch the rest. Not that I have anything against it. I just never really had anybody to watch them with, and I never had anybody that was like super into Harry Potter. You can do it in the entire level of a game. Okay, so it's got to be a particular level, because if you're comparing it to Elden Ring, you couldn't do the whole game until recently with mods, because there's only some place that you can have tarnish appear, which like the summonings of like the wolves or whatever you had. Earth Wanderer. Oh, that's probably for YouTube of another thing. Thank you for the sub. Or that might be Twitch. Thank you. Now I'm getting distracted again. But you couldn't do it for like the entire section. If it's just for a level, that's cool. I mean, that's still better than what I thought you could. I thought you could only maybe do it for like boss sections. Oh, that pressure's like flick and flick and flick and flick. All right, we got time for another. Cindy, thank you so much for letting us take a look at yours. All right, who is another member? We got Pedro. Oh, we got Michelle. Michelle, you sent me one, didn't you? Was yours on Twitter as well? I forget where you followed me on. Oh, no, it was Instagram, wasn't it? Did you send me one on Instabam? Let me pull up here. Some things only show through on the mobile version because it gets sent through like an Instagram messaging service or Facebook messaging service. It's hard to put yourself out there, but you make people at ease. I think you did great. I think you did great, Cindy. It's just, you know where you're lacking, but sometimes you're unsure. And it's good to get another perspective, a different set of eyes, and then somebody that's willing to help you out. And so when I show you like, hey, your clouds can be better, can have a better appeal if you fade this. You go, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I kind of knew that, but I wasn't sure. Okay, now I can try that. And those little tips and tricks, each one of those is going to add up to be a great painting down the road, you know? And I'm really excited to see what you make for the next one. All right, gotta accept this. Oh, Cindy, you sent me your image as a timed image, so I'm not able. Oh no, wait, that's Cindy's. No. I thought Michelle sent me one. Oh no, okay, there's Michelle's. So let me see if I can pull this up and forward. I thought Michelle sent me hers as a timed message. There we go. Oh, this might be too small of an image that you sent me. I don't know why this is coming up super small. It's all right. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. All right. This is Meech's. There we go. Pull this over and across. All right. So this is going to be a little blurry. It's not the most high-res image that was sent through Instagram for some reason. It's a small little sucker that was sent. No judgment zone unless you're watching again. Hey, you guys are allowed to judge. I just ask that you be nice. I mean, you can be rude, be like, oh, that tree sucks, but I like what you're doing with it. I think it'd be improved. Like, if you give, like, a tit for tat, I think it really helps. I don't mind when somebody calls me out and be like, yeah, I got it. Oh, now I almost want to play Bloodborne again with somebody to play with. I like the build that I had, too. I wouldn't mind trying to do Arcane build on it, but I didn't really see, like, the necessity. We went for, like, a really strong Dex build, and it was working great for me and my friend we were playing. You can attest to the tips. They help a bunch. I'm glad they do. That's what I'm here for. All right, let's take a look at Michel's. The big old Meech. All right, let me get my face out of the way here really quick. So we've got... this is one from Bob Ross. I can't think of the tutorial of what this one was called, but I've seen this one. I've actually painted this one myself back in the day. So we've got our nice cold blue sky up in here. We got our very strong vivid clouds coming down across, almost like little cattails, for instance. Then we've got our mountain coming down across, and our forest perspective going this way with our tree lines with some snowbanks down here, and this is water down in here. So let's take a look to see how we can help Michel's. It's fuzzy clouds. Yeah, it's for some reason it's a low res image. When you sent it to me, it's like a very small thumbnail. I don't know why. I don't know if there's a way you can send me a bigger one, but it's fine. We can use our imagination. Like, it was like this big when you sent it to me, but it's all right. We'll work through it. I can still help out. All right, so same thing. We have the problem with Michelle that's going to help out your painting is if we make this all gray, which is fine because it's a cold picture of winter, you'll see that there's, other than the trees, or sorry, let me get my face out of the way. This is a great exercise for you guys to do. When you take a picture of your painting and then turn it to a grayscale image or black and white, same thing, and you can see the contrast between images, or the contrast between elements in a painting. Your only true contrasty spots are your trees from everything else. Like you can see right here, your sky is almost the same color as your mountains. Your clouds are almost the same color as your land. Your sky is the same color as your foreground land. And you can see your sky color is the same ground pretty much as the water. So there's not a lot of contrast in here. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but having some elements of shifting hues or shifting contrast does help build depth in a painting. And it gives off a visual appeal to it, okay? So let's get this back to color. So the very first thing I would love for you to do is also, Michelle, is create a vignette. And all you have to do is, you can kind of see what you did right here. You created, that's a horrible arrow. You created a darker spot up here, but there isn't really a darker spot up here. Let's get to red, because red means bad, bad. So what you need to do is add this color up into here a little bit more and just start blending it to the center a little bit. And that's going to create this vignette of darkness, and you're creating a focal point that's leading us towards the center, which is what you're trying to do, because look, you have this water point that's leading right up into here. So this water point should feed right up to here, and this focal point should help us focus to right here. okay? So keep that in mind when you paint this again. And yes, I would love for you to paint this again. All right, number 2 is your clouds did get away from you. I could tell you were excited. You were going out on your first date. It was the jock, the captain of the football team. It was Mr. Clouds. You were happy to play with him and see what you could do. And you got a little too excited, got away from you. Okay, it was like me on prom night. You have, I honestly don't even know what you're trying to do here. I feel like you try to do too much too fast. So let's simplify this out. I would say try 2 clouds, and let's stack them a little bit off from each other. So I would say build 1 cloud over here, and then build another cloud over here that fades and across, okay? So when you want to build clouds, tap them in and move that brush in whichever way you want. I always say go up, go down, go right, go left. And eventually your brush is going to make all these whips and stuff, you know? And then when you take your other brush and blend it out, you're going to start building the body of the cloud. It feels like you just added way too much. Like actually right here is a very good cloud. You just need to dissipate out certain sections of this cloud because you got beautiful crowns and highlights on top of it. However, it just goes in like, I don't know, a fashion that doesn't seem natural or flowy to the elements in this painting, okay? The other thing that you did with your clouds is they got you got so carried away with them that it pushes all the other elements in your painting far down. Like your mountain is sitting almost at the lower thirds, and this is a beginner's trap. You need to learn to make your clouds up here more, so that way when we bring our mountain, which should be higher by the way, up here to cut into the clouds, okay? Your mountain should be sitting right around in this range. So that way you have more for your tree lines and then your water to flow into. You push too much of it down. Yeah, Bob did one exactly like this. I could probably find it. It's like one of the first seasons. Maybe you're like within season 5 and down. All right, so we need to push the rest of the mountain up. So your mountain should be up here, and let's simplify it. I always like 3. 3 is always good, okay? So let's say we bring your mountain up, mountain comes down, maybe it has a little baby peak, and then it fades off and across. Your other mountain maybe comes down and up like that, and it fades down and across, okay? So let's erase that little guy. So now we've got our established mountain, which is a lot easier to see. So now we're going to cheat Michelle, and we're going to put in a cheat line for our highlight. Highlight goes that way. Maybe this one comes down and over in there. This one, let's say this one stops here, okay? So now we know where we need to put our highlight. So highlight, 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 and fades off. Now we can put our shadow side in, okay? Our shadow side is going to meet up into this valley right here, let's say, and comes down and across. And then this one meets down up into here and goes in front, just like that, let's say. And then this one comes down in here, and then we're going to leave a separational gap. And then maybe it comes down in here. Then you need to tap in these bottom sections right here to fade them and push them back and then gingerly brush up in the angles of your mountains. And that's going to help create a nice distant focal point for you, okay? And then your tapping in at the bottom is actually good. There should be virtually no detail. My eye shouldn't be able to discern what is going on back here. So you did a good job. You got a lot of tapped in colors. The only thing I would say is you would probably need to follow more of a plane to help separate out. For some reason, it looks like yours have like a frowny face right here. Like it's got this circular cove, which is kind of weird. If you wanted to make a circular cove, do it with straight lines, just like this, okay? That would help out a lot more. Do I post my streams? They'll be on YouTube, yeah. I save them as live VODs, so you can go back and watch. Oh, have a good one, Bit. Thank you so much for stopping in here, man. I do truly appreciate it. You are fantastic. You are fantastic. I'm gonna make some more cloud videos too. Now that I've got my better camera equipment, and I've moved around my studio a little bit, so I'm gonna try to make another video that I think will be very beneficial. Okie dokie. All right, so we got that. So now I think you did actually a very good job, Michelle, of building your land. of building your land. The only thing I would say you need to do, let's get rid of my face here for a second. When you're building your land here, you did a very good job of fading everything into your water, okay? The only thing you need to do is you need to add more detail. And we can do this very subtly. So your snow is going to grab your undertone of your trees, which is that blue, brown, gray color, okay? So your snow isn't going to be as vivid, okay? So it's going to be diluted with all this undertone. But as you get to this plane right here, actually let's do this different color. As you get to this plane right here and this plane right here, this element where the blue is a lot closer to us. So even though your your snow might be contaminated with your blue on top, go back over this with some very creamy titanium white. And take that titanium white and think where your highest points are in your snow and add, whoops, that's not red, and add some highlight. Add some highlight, add some highlight, add some highlight, some highlight, some highlight, some highlight. But make sure you leave that diluted parts where the blue is indicated in between. And what that's going to do is it looks like there's little parts of the snow that come up that the sun's kissing a little bit more and reflecting to our viewpoint that's fading down in. Or maybe that's harsher snow that hasn't melted. And underneath is the darker, which is that blue diluted color. And that's going to add just ever so slightly extra little details, okay? And then, whoops, got rid of my camera. Then the other thing you want to add is it looks like for your water lines, it's hard to tell in this photo, but it actually looks like you painted them in a curve. That wouldn't happen. Water doesn't do that. Water doesn't, like, it flows, but it doesn't flow in a curve. Like when you see waves break, they break in straight lines. They don't be like, whoa, I'm going to break now. Whoa, I'm going to break now. They curl and then they push, but they all move in generally the straight motion. Okay, so when you put in your water lines, watch that water knife video I was talking about earlier. Is when you put when you put paint on top or below your knife, it has different effects. But what you want to do is take it and go straight across and grind in like this. Because when you grind in, you're going to create curves, but you're creating motions that hit differently within that bank, okay? And you just got to think about where would water be? Water lines don't have to be everywhere. So like in this cove here, there probably wouldn't be as many because water broke up here. And then water broke up here because it's hitting these peaks. And then water broke up here and then curves around. So what you want to do is create those water lines, but the ones that are in the back, fade them out with a fan brush or whatever brush you have control with. Then do these ones and then fade them out just a tiny bit. And then don't fade out these ones. So that way they're going to have more detail. So that way these are more detailed than this. And this is more detailed than this. And then do the same thing on this side. And that's going to help you create a stronger perspective as well. Okay. Now for your trees, this would be an advanced technique. But all of your trees are the same color. And they shouldn't be. This tree and this tree should all be one value. And then these trees, or here we'll highlight in blue. These trees and these trees should be the same value, okay? But everything's the same that you have in here, and we don't want that, okay? We want to create distance. So these background trees indicated by blue should be a lighter color. Should be a lighter color because they're in the distance. They're in the distance. They're not as vivid. They're not as detailed. Then these ones should be very dark to stand out. Oops. Should be very dark to stand out right there. Okay? That would help you create, again, a focal point of distance. And that's very easy to do. Just make a tree color. Then cut that tree color in half. Scoop one half to one side of your palette and the other half to the other side. Just add a little bit of white. A little bit of white to one of this. And that's going to be your lighter color that goes in the background. And then your darker color that you have remains for your foreground. And it's very, very simple to do. Now, the only thing you need to do... Oh, and I didn't even notice this on your mountain. You didn't really indicate a highlight. Oh, wait. Maybe. I guess your highlight's technically on this side because look at your clouds and your mountains. You have highlights on both sides, so you need to dedicate what side your highlight's going to be on. The only reason I notice that now is because I think you could probably try doing a little bit of highlight on top of your tree. And to start, the best and easiest thing to do is you did a pretty good job on shaping your tree. I think you got a good zigzag motion going on here. These ones that looks like you had a little bit more trouble, but the ones on the right-hand side look fantastic, I think, is take a fan brush with titanium white, or a little bit of titanium white and mostly liquid white, and mix it up to a nice thin consistency. Then pull your paintbrush through, tap it down a little bit, and then go in and just tap, tap, tap. Just add a little bit here and there. That's how you feel comfortable. And just add a little bit of snow on here that just maybe is sitting on there that's from an afternoon dewy frost, whatever it'd be. And there you go. That would be fantastic. I would probably add a little more white in here for a little bit water sheen. But other than that, I think you got a great picture. You got a great painting. I think it would behoove you to paint this again, just like our last few people, because you got a lot of the great elements here. You just need a little more consistency. Like you can see how your mountain just comes down and across here. Don't do that because it looks weird. Just take it and fade it out into nothing. Nobody's going to know. Just like you did here. This looks way better. Fades out. When it fades out into nothing, it really pushes the illusion of that mountain back by creating that distance, since there's no detail in it. Pat, I would request a video on brushes for beginners, natural versus synthetic, which sets are good for different levels, and getting a brush ready to use. I would love to do a video on that. However, I do not own a great variety of brushes. So what I could probably do is brushes, God, it would be like a tutorial on brushes for beginners, but it would be on a set, like a basic set. Like natural versus synthetic, I think it'd be very advanced, but you would need a lot of different brushes to prove the points. And I don't have a lot of brushes. Like I have like 20 to 30 brushes, but they're all situational for certain things that I need. Like I have like 5 script liner brushes, and all the difference in them are just different lengths of hair. So it's like, that would be hard to explain for some things unless I got a little bit bigger. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. These are all good. I loved what you painted here. Oh my. All right, I think I got time for one more, but I need to hit the bathroom really quick. If you guys don't mind me taking like a 2-minute break, not even 2-minute break, like just a minute break really quick. And I don't know if I have enough time to do one more, but if somebody doesn't mind me doing a quick one, I could probably just do a real quick one if you want to see that. And then I could probably do it. So let me know. I'm just going to hit the restroom here really quick, and I'll be right back. Okie dokie, I am back. Thank you for allowing me to take a small little break. Thank you so much. Once it was finished, I knew I was going to do it again. Definitely will. Yeah, just look at some of the simple things that you can do. And I think the nice thing about when you finish painting, first of all, you're like, fuck, I could have done better. But I think you did a fantastic job. You have the lay of the land really well, actually, on yours, Michelle. You just need to do some simplistic things like the vignette, bring your mountains up, doing only 3 peaks, working on where identifying your light source is coming from. I'm assuming, are you left-handed by chance? I think you might be left-handed from the way that you painted this, but I'm not entirely sure. Excuse me. And then getting your snow to break down and out, fade the mountain out. You did a really good job with the mid-ground. Shaping the land, you did a really good job with. Finding out the different values for trees so it looks like you're building depth. And then adding a little bit of highlight, and then adding a little highlight in the snow will add a ton of detail into your painting. And I think the results will really show. If you paint this again this weekend, please, please, please send me the image. I would love to see it, because I think you actually will probably nail it and knock it out of the park, which I'm looking forward to. All right. I got 15 minutes to do one more. It wouldn't be as in depth, but if you'd like me to take a look and do yours for you, I'll be more than happy. I know we had Pedro, but I feel like Pedro's a member, so you probably want me to do a little more in depth on his. Bit, I guess I could do yours. We'll see who talks in chat really quick. I have bits all set up, so Bit, if you don't mind a short little one, I'm more than happy. But we shall see. Also, don't forget, guys, that I released a new YouTube tutorial with Tally on how to do a Arizona sunset. So make sure you check that out. I always appreciate the comments that you guys leave. And that one's actually a really easy one to paint, like super simplistic. Super simplistic. But hey, sometimes the simple ones are the best. Oh, almost out of water too. Excuse me. Venderson's. Tommy, which one was yours under the name again? Or Tin. Oh, could you want me to do a quick one on yours? It was Tin Lizard, right? I could do a quick one if you don't mind, like a little 12, 15-minute one. I usually try to give a little bit of time and attention to everybody's. I know I should probably do them quickly, so that way I can get through a lot more, but I find it fun to look and observe and absorb and give back my true opinions on it. But if you'd like me to do one on yours, Tommy, I could do it right now. I believe it was Tin Lizard. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, all right. We'll do it. I'll nail yours really quick. So this will be the last one, so let's finish strong. Sorry, I got a message on my phone. All right, there we go. Just had to send a text message. Here we go. Let's finish strong with Tom May, which is Tin Lizard. All right. I'll get to yours, Pedro, next week if we when we do it. All right, let's take a look here. So let's get my face out of the way really quick. So this is a little bit of a hard picture because I think there's a reflection of the oil. But thank you, Pedro. Thank you for being so understanding, man. You're awesome. So we got a nice little landscape mountain painting here with our blue sky fading into a sunset with yellows and oranges. Reflection of the water happening on there on the lake. Our mountain, some clouds, and a whole gaggle of trees and bushes. So we've got a ton of mud mixing going on here. So my first assumption might be for you is you might be having too much liquid base to start with on your painting here, Tommy. So make sure when you apply your liquid white that you only have a thin layer. Don't be afraid to take a paper towel or clean off your brush and go over it with a dry brush because you only need a little bit. Now, when you start with blue, I would actually start with the yellows. Your yellows and oranges look good, but it looks like you didn't blend them enough on the left and right side. My face is blocking some of this right here. It looks like you didn't blend enough down and across. So I would say sit some time. Yellows and reds blend beautifully together to create a nice little atmosphere. But remember to pull that down into the water a little bit so that way it looks like the reflection is going to hit down into here. For some reason, it looks like it was an afterthought. And it looks like you had a little bit of your tree line or mountain mixed down into here, which is fine to some degree, but make sure you pull those colors down because look, it even helps add that separational layer. Now, when you work with your blue looks very muted, like you added gray or black into it, and that's fine. That's your own artistic choice, but I feel like a more vibrant blue probably would have helped out a little bit. Now, you did actually a pretty decent job help creating a vignette, but you want to make sure you blend these colors in to the part where you're going. It looks like you had a little bit of a green cascade come in and across, so make sure you work in the colors in the correct fashion. Now, your clouds are very, very, I don't even know what the right word would be, like sporadic, I guess. It doesn't look like you really thought like a cloud. It looks like you're just like, oh, I'll add some paint here, 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 add some paint here. And it looks very random and out of order. The only one it looks like you took time to think about was like this one that came down and across, which is your best cloud. What you need to do is think like a cloud. Sit back and go, okay, I want a cloud to come down in this direction. So I'm going to take my cloud and whisk down and through and go over right here. Then wipe off your brush and then add your highlights to where you need. Then wipe off your brush and take a 2-inch brush and start blending down and in, and then sit back. Work on each each cloud individually. It looks like you tried to work on 2 or 3 clouds at a time, and it shows because it feels like it was rushed a little bit, okay? And then don't be afraid to work out the brush strokes and lift, so that builds some depth. Oops. Your mountain doesn't look too bad. Look, you basically got somewhat of a simplified mountain. However, your mountain should be up here, so that way you have more foreground and midground elements to work on. You just need to work on the breaking of paint. You have too much paint on your mountain, okay? You need to really work that off with your 2-inch or 2-inch or 1-inch brush. Get that nice gradient to follow down across. I do say kudos on bringing your mountain all the way to the sides of your painting, just like that. Boom. Way to think about how that mountain would roll off into the sides, okay? This is actually fine. It's just messy and blocky and blotchy. You should add a little bit of water lines in your water here. There's too much mud mixing happening in your water, so I would say go back and add more blue and more orange and pull it down and streak it, which is nice about oils is you can always add more. And then we get to the part that is very, very tough. You didn't use enough paint, which is weird. You have too much mud mixing. You try to be stingy on your trees and bushes, and it shows. So all you really need to do is find the correct viscosity of paints that you have. Try to think about building a creamy peanut butter, and you need to have a nice dark color. Sap green, phthalo blue, and Van Dyke brown can make a nice little dark color for you to have. And then think about how you want to shape your land. I would build your trees first. Let's just say 2 trees aside. Then tap them in the angles that you need, you know, just like that. And then add your trunk, then highlight with a very creamy cadmium yellow, half cad yellow, half liquid white, so that way it'll stick. We know our light source is here, so add your highlights on this side mostly, and then just work your way down the tree. Then you can take that same dark color that we were using for the trees, and then just flow it right in front of the tree, so that way it looks like the trees are sitting on something, and then tap in your highlights coming down and across to either create beautiful grass plains, or if these are supposed to be bushes, you know, create your bushes that come down and across, and then add your highlight on top of it, but don't kill all of your dark area. You need to have separational spots in between, and there you'll have a very simple painting. So I would say definitely, Tommy, go back and redo this painting. This is, I'm going to be honest, it's only an okay painting. But the good news is you built the structure. The only problem is that structure is very flimsy. So take this painting, and how many hours it took you, I want you to take double the amount of time. Really work in and blend your gradients. Work in and blend in your blues to where it meets your horizon line. Really push that paint in your sky into the canvas, okay? What that's going to do is work off that excess color, so when you add your clouds, it has something to stick to. It's not going to get contaminated, and they're going to be more vivid. And then move your mountain structure up so you have more foreground to play with. Then blend the mountains out, create that paint break that you have, tap them in so it fades, then create that mid-ground tree line that it has. Work on blending that color, pull it straight down with the colors in blue, and then gingerly fade out. Add some slight water lines that you blend away. Then create those tree posts with the nice peanut butter paint with the dark green color we talked about. Highlight it for where the light hits it with the highlight with the half cad, half liquid white. Then shape your land with either bushes or grass. Then highlight that ever so slightly. I guarantee you, do what I just said. Take the extra time. Think about it. Don't be afraid to use extra paint for where it matters, like your foreground elements. And don't be afraid, and it's a must-do, wipe off the excess paint on blue shop towels or clean your brush as needed. As needed. You had a lot of contamination because you probably didn't clean your brush as much, and you probably didn't use enough paint at times where it was required, okay? Do this painting tonight. If you're going to paint tonight, do this exact same painting. I guarantee you. You take your time, you do these steps, you'll have something that you'll have something that looks amazing. It's going to look so much better. You're going to look at the paint. You're going to look at the new painting you just did, and you're older, and you're going to go, holy shit, this is a piece of shit. My other painting looks so much better, and everything just clicked. It's going to be fantastic, you know? But don't throw away this painting. Hold on to this painting. Cherish your painting. Cherish your painting. Woo! That was a good one. Thank you for allowing me to do a fast one on it. Hey, what's up, Acrylic Mick? How you doing there today? How are you doing there? You're just in time. We were just doing a channel review, and it went well. I tore it apart, but I know he's going to paint something fantastic. Yeah, I got that done in exactly the time that I was trying to aim for. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Hey, Zach, I had some things come up and miss it. Next time, I'll submit a painting early. It's all right. Don't throw away any paintings. No, keep them all day. Keep them all day. Also, it's all right. You guys are allowed to have your own life. That's why there's a VOD. But I'll be doing more of these. You guys seem to like them. We keep growing our community little by little, so it's always fun to give a little bit of feedback. I think other people enjoy seeing the art that they create. I think people really enjoy seeing the different stages people are at, so that way they know not everybody's doing a fantastic job. People are growing just like them. We're all growing. We're all trying to improve within our art, and that's fine. You do the same wet on wet painting? Oh, awesome. Do you wet on wet with acrylics, I imagine? Been eyeballing my page for tips and tricks. Hell yeah, my friend. That's what it's there for. I'm glad I can help you, and I'm glad that you can help support me. Oh, you're welcome, Cindy. I'm glad that you appreciate it, and I will have a great weekend. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of work after I go eat, obviously. Work on a fun little project, and I'm also going to maybe go to the pool if the weather holds up. Hello, Humera? Hello from India. Hello from America. Yes, enjoy the paint. Oh, no, you do it in oils? Oh, I haven't changed my name here. That's all right. Acrylic Mick works just fine. I like to work in acrylics too every now and then. All right. You're coming in right at the end, Mick, and also Zach, but I'm glad that you guys could have it. Have a great weekend. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll submit one next time. Yes, we will get to it. I promise we will get to it. First come, first serve. Members get first dibs, but the quicker you show up, the more you chat. Obviously, it's easier for me to see all that fun stuff. I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to go eat. Thank you, guys. I'm glad if you can become a member. Thank you. If you guys want to show your support, you can always super chat, super sticker. I would really be enjoyed if you become a member. We got to 50 members. Next stop is 75 or 100. My goal is to maybe hit 100 by the year's end. Let's see. We'll keep that rolling. All that support I just throw right back into the channel. So thank you so much. As you can see right now, we're trying to get a new wireless microphone. Pretty soon I will be doing. I'm going to try to include new camera angles and whatnot. I will be doing a live stream video on Tuesday, I think. It'll be for something new. So get ready for that. It'll just be a little Monday morning coffee and talk. So I'll see you guys then. Everyone have a great weekend. Make sure you go watch my new video, which is on how to paint a Arizona desert sunset done with Tally. I appreciate you guys all your support. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Have some fun. Get some drinks in you. And keep your paintbrushes wet. I'll see you guys all next time. Take care. And as always, peace. Have a good one.